Hi, welcome to the ladies' room today, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. How are y'all? How you been this week? We ain't talked in like a week.
I know, right?
You been having a good week, Miss Jovo?
I'm having a great week. Yep. Back to school. Shout out to everybody getting their kids on those buses and in the car lines and
I
uniforms
know.
and book bags and homework. Hey.
I know my baby gets to start school next week, so I am not looking forward to that. But yes, so as you can see, right now we have three of our people here welcoming you right now. We have Ashley, our wonderful host, who will be joining shortly. So just give it some time. And we also have Raven, who will be joining us shortly as well, so that we can discuss a lot of these conversations. I'm just gonna go ahead and dive into it and kick it off, right? So I was watching this show called Themis and Thoth. Like he's another
Mhm.
YouTuber.
Mhm.
And he was having a conversation with a guy who has his channel own channel as well. I'll shout out the channel, Orange Peel. And
Mhm.
Orange Peel came on and wanted to discuss how he personally would not want to date a woman who owns a home. Like not
Mhm.
even consider dating a woman who owns a home.
Mhm.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play the clip just so we kind of understand what we're dealing with how some of the conversation went. I'll play it and then I'll get our reactions on that. So let me share screen. All right, let's do window. This one. All right, you guys see it?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, good. So let's.
Situation. Wait. Well, let's just say this. Let's say this. If people actually, if men are thinking like this, please note that I think this might also be part of the reason why we're so far behind as a culture. I promise you that. I promise you, if men are actually thinking like, because the reality, well, actually, go ahead, Orange Pill, explain yourself. I'm not going to drag you. I won't. I refuse to drag you.
I would like to talk a little bit about. Oh, Themis, can I make a quick mod note? And then can I make a comment?
Yeah, make your mod note LB, and then Orange Pill can explain himself. We're not gonna not let Orange Pill speak.
Yeah. No. Okay. So, for the chat, like I understand, I really do. But also remember that we have community standards, and respect is one of them. We address the arguments. We don't attack the people. So please try not to name call, and just handle yourself with a little bit of truth in the chat, please. Thank you.
Actually, thank you. I appreciate that. Only women in apartment, women who live with their parents, and women experiencing homelessness gets named. Period. Right.
I mean, if we're gonna be honest, I don't really know the percentage of women, of black women particularly, that's going to be that are all homeowners. So I don't know how big this conversation needs to be had, and for homeowners in general who are single. So I mean, we can take this conversation as far as we want, but it's not really something that's going to be a majority. So
yeah,
I actually work in the real estate industry, and I would just love to make a few comments.
Okay. Do not give us any percentage because I would rather him continue with this in the abstract. But go ahead. Let me read the super chat. Where are the women who don't have a home or residence supposed to live when you're still in the process of dating and trying to move the relationship forward? In a shelter, her parents, her ex-boyfriend. No, you should experience homelessness for a while, and then that will be your marriage. Go ahead, me, not me.
So I won't speak to anything about statistics and black women and home ownership, but working.
Let's see.
Anything that you're saying that is not okay. Like, don't say. Just answer the question if you feel like answering. If you think that it's.
Let's see. We can find this.
What do you mean you're going to take on financial responsibility that no one told you to take on?
So Because I'm going to be the husband or even the partner where I need to contribute. You mean to tell me, so you advocate for men moving in the house with a woman and not paying no mortgage?
I literally just qualified my statement by saying I'm not advocating for you to bomb it up. Did you not hear that part?
I heard that part, but why did you make the example?
Because you said you cannot take on the responsibility. So did anyone ask you to take on the responsibility?
Would that not be expected of me?
Even if it is expected of you, that is the part of the process of negotiation to decide where to live. If you're saying, I want to pay all the bills, which I'm like, period, I'm here for hypergamy. So if you're going to pay all the bills, then you can tell her, you guys can decide where to live. Now, are you going to say, I'm afraid because I'm going to have to downgrade her life? Because that, I would then tell my daughter, absolutely not. But is that what you're saying? That you're assuming that...
You do a lot of assumptions. Come on now.
No, because if you can upgrade her life, I'm sure you would want to do that, right? No, I'm asking. That's a question.
I would actually. I would. Now you can make that assumption.
No, I'm asking you. What do you?
I would. Come on, Steve.
No. I'm going to end the conversation because what you're doing is what.
Okay, hold on 1 second, y'all.
I don't want to diagnose anyone because I'm not
Okay, that was a mouthful or a situation full. Who wants to? So basically, and you saw like some of the response and everything like that, but basically the point that he was making is that as a man, he would not want to get with a woman who already has a home, whether she was willing to sell the home or whether, she was willing to rent it out so they can get a home together. But he said he wouldn't even bother to be with the woman who already has a home in the first place for him personally. And Themis said it was about his ego, and he claimed that it was not about his ego. So who wants to start? What do you guys think?
I think it's absolutely about his ego. I mean, a lot of men are intimidated by women who have successful careers and lives and things of that nature. And it's just a way to try to give themselves an excuse so they won't even have to jump in the situation or even try it, right? Because obviously he doesn't have a house, because if that was the case, he'll just be trying to get her to move into his house and they can do whatever they was going to do. But the thing is, he probably has an apartment. I'm not going to say a raggedy apartment, whatever the case may be. Has an apartment. He's just not on her level or whatever. And he's looking at her like, now if I move, it's an ego thing, because he doesn't want to move in and feel less of a man because she has more. And a lot of men start to feel like that when a woman has more, because a lot of men feel like the only thing they have to offer a woman is financial stability. So if a woman already has that financial stability, he's already in an insecure mindset, because he's like, what can I do? He's already going to the door thinking that she's going to try to control him because it's her house. Anytime it's an argument, he's going to feel like, oh, she can just put him out and stuff like that. So I do get the mindset, but it's a stupid mindset to have if you so-called yourself a confident man. An insecure man would only think like this. A confident man, if that's the case, he'll, just move into the house and pay the bills that he can pay, and do the things that he can do to make up for the things that he doesn't possess or feel like he should have, or whatever the case may be. But I just think it's an ego thing, it's a pride thing. You just need to drop their pride, and if she's happy, she's not asking him or telling him he has to pay the bills or all the bills. I mean, he should just go and live life and be happy with whoever he if she's as a worthy mate, So yeah, he's making more problems for himself. It looks like to me.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Jovo. What you have to add to that?
I think it's ego. I really do. And I don't understand. Well, I understand, but I think I just get really, really irritated with just the obsession over things that we people look too far ahead into the future. They don't know how to live in the now. If you're dating someone like this young man dating this young woman, let's say she owns a single family home or a townhome, and based on the progress of the relationship, they say okay, it's smarter for us for us to just cohabitate, live together, whether they get engaged or married. You already own a home. Okay, I'll move in. Okay, like people don't look at okay, there needs to be conversations and discussions for these things to happen. And people are afraid to have conversations about what boundaries look like, what are going to be the low blows. And it's a low blow when you're in an argument with someone and you try to bring up what you're paying for. That's a low blow to me. And I think that's it's almost like people are telling on themselves. You've never been in a relationship where there's clear-cut communication. Like people are really telling on themselves. Like I would expect someone, and this is just me, and I might be wrong. I would expect this out of people who are literally just smashing each other. They don't have no context to their relationship whatsoever. It's really about sex and some of these superficial things. Okay, I can see why he would be worried. But you're telling on yourself. You're like, I don't know what it's like to be in a relationship where people communicate what the low blows will be, what's off limits to use in arguments. What bills will you be paying? What bills will I be paying? Mm-hmm. Like they are so telling on themselves. Like the way he described it to me, you don't want to move in with a girl that you smashing. You don't want to move into her place because you're afraid she's going to take control. When you're in a relationship with someone, there's no fear. There's no like pretense. You all have talked things out. So that's the first thing that comes to mind when I hear this.
But Ms. Jovo, what about the fact that he said, he wouldn't even let it get to the point, like basically as soon as he meets a woman and he finds out that she's a homeowner, he's not going to date her at all, to even have the conversations about what the decisions will be for bills and things. Like he said, he won't even date her.
That's a reflection on him as a man. Mm-hmm. And that's ego. That's these defense mechanisms that he's built up. It sounds like he's someone that might have been used in prior relationships for financial gain or sponsorship or something. Mm-hmm. It's really a reflection on him. It has nothing to do with women in general. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with women in general. It's just like what I said last week. In all these spaces, we keep running into these guys who want us to decrease who we are to make them feel comfortable, if you will. And really, honestly, he'll never find it. Like, I don't, it just baffles me. Like, it's just, he doesn't want a relationship. He wants dictatorship. That's
okay. Yeah. So why do you suppose we're seeing that so much, especially in our community, where it's like this huge push, especially from a lot of men who are basically almost shaming women for accomplishments? Like, why do you think that is?
It's a lack of confidence from no one is instilling confidence in these young men when they're youth, right? So they grow up to be grown men with a lack of confidence, and that's he's exhibiting that right now because you just meet a woman, and as soon as she says she has a house, now I don't want to talk. What's the reason? Like he has no logical reason for why he doesn't want to pursue a conversation.
He said because he doesn't want to be responsible for something that he didn't agree to initially.
But then no one talked about that though. He said as soon as he meet a woman and she says she has a house, he's not talk. So they didn't talk about what.
No. I'm just telling you what the reason was. What he said when they said why.
I'm telling you that he is a lack of confidence, low self-esteem. And it's all around the board in our community. These men they think this masculinity can make up for the lack of confidence. They can be loud and threatening and bad and degrade women and use their money to make up for that confidence. But through conversation, we always see the lack of confidence, and they always deny it, and they act like we don't know what we're talking about, or y'all women don't know what y'all talking about. But that goes to show right there, Like, you like a woman, you obviously thought she was pretty enough to talk to, and I'm pretty sure who wants to date a woman that doesn't have anything? So as soon as she says she has something worth value, like a home that she worked hard for, you don't want to be with her. It's nothing but a lack of confidence and low self-esteem, and that's it. Yeah, it's no other excuse, no other reason for it. These men can come up here and say it is, but it's just gonna be a lie. You know, these men are just born, raised. I don't blame the woman or the man. Whatever the reason, the dynamics is in the house, these men are born pussies now.
You ain't blaming nobody. Somebody got to be blamed now. That's all we do is blame.
Well, I blame both. So I mean, it's just life. You know, people. You know, it's a tide right now, and I don't think men or women are in general are seeing things the same. You know, I think there's a lot of confusion, especially with this social media. A lot of people are getting confused by these words that a lot of people are reciting out here on these platforms, and it's because of leadership, right? They didn't have leadership in the home to give them a path or to go on, right? So now when they hear these people out here, they just all over the place. If this man says that, then a woman go act like this. If the woman says this, then the men go start acting like this. Like, no, find you a path that you want to have and just stick to it, and you're going to eventually find what you're looking for. You cannot be all over the place, listen to this person, listen to that person, listen to this person. Yeah, everybody's getting confused, and I don't think a lot of people have that self-awareness to just sit down and be like, man, last week I was just saying this, and now this week I'm saying that. Like, they be all over the place. You know, have some type of foundation about yourself, and then maybe you can find a woman or find that confidence to find a woman that's going to be right for you. You know what I'm saying?
I also want to add, and I want to say this respectfully. Women have made so much progress on finding out who we are, our strengths, building on new, we're building new ground every day. Okay. And I know Black men have made progress. I know men in general have made progress. But I really just want to say out loud, at the rate that we're making progress and the barriers that we're conquering, Black men got to stop personalizing that as this is a personal attack against me. How can I be me when you're being something else than what I traditionally know to be woman? Like, if you don't counter old thinking patterns, you repeat cycles. And what are we seeing in prisons? What are we seeing in jails? What are we seeing?
Now, I feel like that's really been missing from the conversation, like incarceration rate.
Like Black men have led the percentage of people who are incarcerated in mass, like for years now. And it's like, instead of using that as a conversational piece, how can we keep our brothers off the street? How can we make progress at a rate where, look at our women. They're conquering barriers and things that they couldn't get over, couldn't climb many years back. Why are we still with the same struggles? Instead of just focusing on like nitpicking at what we're doing, why is the self-work not being done? Like, it is very disturbing.
Yeah.
It's very disturbing.
I completely agree.
Like everything you can talk about when it comes to dating a woman, you're not gonna date the woman who owns a home, who represents progress. You're not gonna date her because of these pretenses and this narrative you made up in your head that she's not gonna let me, quote unquote, be a man. And it's like Darwin was saying, a lot of times they lack self-confidence and they have low self-esteem. So how can you really say she's gonna be threatening manhood when really, honestly, you're not doing any work as it relates to manhood?
Yeah.
What you're doing is, oh, you too loud and you own a home and you're not submissive and you're not this. That's what you're doing. How is that building you as a man?
I have some further questions for you on that, Ms. Jovo. But first, I want to go ahead and welcome Raven.
Hi guys, sorry for being late.
Some people say your wife.
Right. High value
Classes,
cream.
classes are still available.
Yes, let's make sure you go ahead and plug those classes. All right. You got
Don't log in too late. You won't have your husband if you log in. No, but I want to say real quick, this is just eerily too similar to the TD Jakes sermon we just heard last week. And I think it's dangerous because now they're like fostering this environment where their insecurities are being validated by people that have status. So TD Jakes pretty much said the same thing verbatim, except, this is just the extreme of that logic. I can't get a woman that has a house because I have nowhere to pour into her or whatever that mess was. So it seems like, it's dangerous because that can be transferred across relationships. Women can stay in abusive relationships because, well, the pastor is agreeing with whatever my psycho husband is saying. So, I guess I'll stay to do Jesus right. So it's really a slippery slope, especially considering what we talked about I think it was just last week with TD Jakes. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely is touching the surface of that TD Jakes stuff. But it's just so sad, and these guys, when I talk about us men, I gotta throw myself in there because I'm still working on me, right? But us guys, we need to do better. We are worth so much more than what we claim we are, and that's the point. Like, if you feel like the only thing you are worth is something that the woman can also do, then you putting yourself in a competition with the woman. If you want to be a man, set yourself aside. You know what I'm saying? Make a path over your own to be a man. If she has a house and she has all these things, materialistic things, guess what you can do? You can do the things that you claim it's a woman's thing that's really isn't. Just take these gender roles out of it. As far as cooking, cleaning, taking your daughter to school, your kids to school, daycares, doctor visits, things that the men normally don't do. And I know this for a fact because I do them, and I don't see any men up in these clinics or these schools. I'm taking my daughter to orientation tomorrow by myself, and I'm going to count the men that are there by themselves with these kids. And that's because that's what I do, because I just be wanting to see like how far-fetched am I from, I don't do a lot of stats and go online looking at all these stats. And first of all, it's not no stat that really can say all that really can give you an indication of what's really going on. But when I go these doctor visits and the schools and these parks and stuff like that, I don't see a lot of men, so that's just, that's my world. Maybe somebody else's world, they seeing all these men doing all this stuff. They go to doctors and all it's just a handful of fathers, but that's not what I see. But these men have to know.
Men who feel like that is the woman's responsibility, that's the reason why they work, and she's supposed to handle that stuff.
Well, first I'm going to say they're setting themselves up to be the parent that's going to be left out, because generally the mothers are more taken care of from the kids than the father is. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why, because when the mother is pouring all this love into the child, children have feelings. You just can't buy a child's feelings. So when the mother's pouring all this love into the child because you think you don't have to, because you pay some bills. And so now when the kid gets older, all this stuff is going to resonate into the child. Like, I need to take care of mom. Mom took care of me. Dad wasn't there when I was sick. Dad wasn't there when I fell off the bike. Dad wasn't in the hospital staying with me for 5 nights in a row. Dad wasn't there. These kids grow up and they resent their fathers. And it's not in a way where they just be like, oh, F you, Dad, I can't stand you. It's just be like, when things happen, they remember, like, I'm going to take care of mom. Mom is the priority because mom made me a priority while you was making other things priorities, whether it was that you was out cheating, whether you put your work before me, whether you just said, hey, I don't have to do this. Get out my face. Mama do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the main reasons, the main things I would tell men, like, you have to pour some love into these kids. It's just not all about that money. And I've seen successful men that has great careers, and when they get older, they in nursing homes. They're in nursing homes and they're dying alone. So, and it's a stat that shows that, though. So you might want to start pouring some more love into your kids so they can take care of you when you get to that point, and you won't be sitting there with a looking crazy like, why don't nobody love me? And it's not that you don't love them right now. It's just that you have to start displaying your love differently and get out of this this toxic masculinity on how you think you should love your child, you know, because
Exactly.
we can't just keep repeating these cycles, you know what I'm saying? Like things are not getting better for men in a lot of ways. Like, yeah, of course, like Ms. Jovo said, men are progressing, but I see men progress. They are in their kids' lives a little more. They're doing things of that nature, like they're around their kids, but they're still not doing the loving things with their kids. You know what I'm saying? Like the doctor visits and you know, just cook a bowl of soup if they sick or something like that. Little stuff,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but women are progressing at a faster rate, and it's all because, and I don't think it's at a faster rate. I just think they always had that in them, but they didn't have the platform to do all these things and say all these things. And now, since you all do, it's like, man, where the fuck they come from? No, they always been there. We just ain't been listening. We ain't just been wanting them to talk. So now it's the men.
But I thought this was new, that men are just getting a voice that they've never had before.
Men always had a voice. They shit.
No, exactly. Thank you, Darwin. Thank
you.
When have men not had a voice? I just want to know the time.
They've always had a voice.
How many women signed the Constitution?
And like I said, it's two kinds of men. It's kind of men that I roll with, and the type of man I am, and it's these other men that if you was a lame, just say you was a lame. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't have friends and didn't no one talk to you or listen to you, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? That's just personally you. But men out here, we getting our way all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what type. I don't know these men. You know what I'm saying? I think it's this small portion of men that can't get a woman, and they just blame the woman and then try to make it seem like it's all women that's crazy, and they brainwashing some of the other men that wasn't even thinking like that. Like, yeah, you're right, because I had a woman that did this, when all along these dudes had 10 good women, they have one bad woman, and then they go, yeah, you know, this woman, dude, you done fucked over like 10 good women, and now you let this one bad woman poison your mind because these dudes are preaching this craziness. You know, it's just some soft.
I kind of think it's a little homoerotic because they have all this love for like.
Wait a minute, Ray. Hold on, pause. Not homoerotic.
Isn't that like when you really love the same sex, but not like sexually or something like that? Like you really like you're affectionate with them, but not like in a sexual attraction kind of way.
No, it's definitely sexual. But go ahead.
Oh.
I think you.
Well,
yeah.
The closet is glass, brothers. Come on out, because if you honestly, there was a guy later on the stream named Obi who brought up how contradicting it is, because they'll say, oh, you can't have a woman with her own car, her own house because too many financial restrictions. But then if she has nothing, now she's a leech. Can't contribute anything. So
exactly.
Well, it's giving. We don't like the cooch. It's giving. You know, we like tube steak. That's what it's giving. You know, because there's nothing a woman do to please you.
Tube steak.
I mean,
do
you don't want women that have money, and you don't want women that do have money.
Do you think that it's like a can't win for losing? Like, it's like on the one hand, it's like it's complaining about, oh, you have too much, you know, I can't compete with it, you're masculine. And then on the other hand, it's like, oh, you're a bum, you have nothing, you're just trying to use me for my money.
You're a gold digger.
It's like the biggest tool of like deflecting from, maybe I should work on me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is all that I'm seeing. Just like, okay, in the chat, okay, Mr. Prenup guy, women have the right to cook a man out of her own home. Fellas, get your own place. Okay, say the relationship don't work. Okay, say she asked you to leave the home. So what? If you are this guy and you got your stuff together, like you say you got it together, then you already.
Let's keep it real. That's what I'm talking about, Miss Joe.
You already preparing for, okay, if this don't work, okay, I got options. Okay. Or I know there's resources out there. People, I don't, it's like what I tell my clients about emotions. There's this big fear of feeling what you need to feel in the moment, when really you just need to be like a surfer. The surfer don't ride against the wave. He rides with it. Ride with the wave. Like when you're in a relationship, understand that arguments are going to happen. There might be terrible arguments where you might get put out the house. But the worst case scenario, you on the street. And if these guys who spend so much time on the internet telling women what they need to do, Okay, if these guys have all these answers to what black women need to be doing, then guess what? That's not even of your concern. You're gonna have somewhere to go because remember, you got your stuff together. It's the black woman who
If we just got to be real,
we're gonna keep it 100.
If a woman has her own house and all these great things, and the man moves in and she's controlling that man, that means she's settled. That means she already knew what time it was, and she ain't taking no shit. She's not taking nothing from him. Like, dude, I already knew what time it was, and I was trying to give you a chance.
Exactly.
But you coming in here with nothing else to offer, to me, you're not doing X, Y, Z. I don't need you to pay bills. I need you to take out this garbage. I need you to mow this lawn. I need you to make sure my car's straight. I need you to, you know what I'm saying, cook sometimes. You know, you can't even make a hot dog. So that's when women start controlling. When they already messing with a lower caliber man, they start controlling them because they know they can. You cannot control a man that's already secure within himself and he moves like he's secure with himself, because a woman ain't gonna try it. A woman she gonna already know I can't control him. He has his own money. He has his own car. He has his own means to get another house. So how can a woman control a man that has all these things? It just can't happen. That's what I mean by these men be telling on themselves. Like, oh, she's gonna control me. You already know she's gonna control you. My God. That means you already know that you can be controlled.
Yeah,
let me pause y'all for 1 second. Let me pause y'all for 1 second because we got the lady in the house. You know, welcome back, Ashley.
Hey, y'all are doing it.
Nah. So
Ashley.
Hey, Ashley, welcome back in. You know, so we gonna pass the torch back on to Ashley. You know, Ashley is hosting that. I'm just here participating. But
it's so fun. You pass it over real fast.
Yeah, real quick. Like, I'm out now.
Yep.
But did you get to hear some of the conversation, Ashley?
Yeah.
I know you saw the clip. You saw the clip.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on what he had to say?
You know what? It's so funny. To me, that's just an indication of insecurity. I wouldn't even want to be with a guy like that. And I don't think any woman should count it a loss. I think that guy just needs to figure out how to be secure in himself, because even if a woman has her own things, like, he can still contribute to her life, you know, and to a relationship. So, you know, I think that it's either insecurity or narcissism. So if you have to feel like you gave a woman something in terms of a house, a car, financial things, to me, that's just a little bit of narcissism. She could be a great woman. You know, she could be everything that you need her to be. She could be catering to you, loving, loyal. She could be a great mom. She could be a great housekeeper. She could be wonderful things. But because she actually has acquired some financial stability and security in her life, you don't want her. To me, that's a little narcissistic and or a little insecure. So yeah, that's just my little take on it.
Yeah, and to what the point that Mr. Rucker was missing as well in this conversation is that no one was advocating for men to move in with women, or he wasn't saying I wouldn't move in with a woman who owns a home. He said he will not even date a woman who has a home because, and he gave different reasons. He said that he doesn't want to be financially responsible for something he didn't go out to attain, which I don't know how, if she has a mortgage that she's been paying already, he all of a sudden is financially responsible for it. And the other question that was asked of him is, would it matter if she sold the house and they bought a house together and those types of things? He specifically stated that he wouldn't even allow it to get to that point because just by knowing she has her own home, he wouldn't even entertain it. So that's a totally different conversation, Mr. Rucker.
Yeah. And I, you know, it's funny because we've heard this come up enough as to where I think women are, maybe not tons of women, but women are starting to think twice about letting men know what they have. You know, I have a friend, she's married to the guy now, but I actually asked her a little while ago, you know, before they got married, if she was going to tell him that she owns her own home. She was like, no, Not right now.
So he was acting like T.I. off ATL when he found out Nunu was rich.
And I don't think he would have been that type of guy.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Just the thought that she had to even think that is just telling. But I did ask a guy friend today what he thought, because I told him about the show and I told him what we were talking about, because he asked what he wanted to know what we were talking about, and he just thought it was absurd. He's like that's a good thing. Like, it's a good thing because you could come together. She might have a goal to do things with that property. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's all going to help the household, So, and hopefully that's not representative of most men.
And
or
the thing
a lot
is,
of men.
when I was dating, I had my own place, and I started dealing with women that had their own place. I would always move into their place, and it wasn't because I didn't want to pay bills and stuff like that. It was because they just had a better place. They place was all homey. They decorated their crib. They had all the stuff. I just a bachelor with the basics. A TV. I had furniture and stuff, but it wasn't like a home. And most of the time, when women get these homes, they go, or even an apartment, they make it theirs. When I was young, I just had a crib because it was the thing to do, and I could just have my own company there, and bone women when I wanted to. That's why I had a crib. It wasn't because I went and got a crib because I'm about to put these touches on it. I want to paint these walls, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna change these cabinets. I wasn't doing none of that. But the women I was dealing with, they had a nice place. So I used to like spending the night over there. So hey, I'll move in with you. But I used to tell them too, like, the first time you ever think you can just put me out or try to use that as control, I leave. I ain't got no problem leaving. And a couple of times I left and they had to come and repack my stuff to bring me back, because I'm like, I'm not coming back over there. Oh, come in. They packing my, please. No, I'm not having, you can't control me. It's just, I never thought a woman can control me with anything. She sex, none of this. So I'm just baffled by the way these men be talking, like, a woman gonna control me, and she not gonna give me sex if I don't understand what's going on. I really don't. And when I look,
they up here disclosing their trauma. That's what they doing. They disclosing their trauma.
And then they sit up there in the same voice, call me the simp, when I'm not having the problems. You're having the problems. Getting a woman. You're having the problem getting sex from your wife. You know what I'm saying? You're having all these problems. I'm not having these problems. So I would think you're the simp. You know what I'm saying? Not me. You're the simp.
Yeah.
You got these problems, this lack of confidence. You can't get the woman that you want. You can't get the woman that you don't want to even act how you want them to want. And now it's a problem because I'm doing the things that a man is supposed to do, for one, make the person he's with happy.
Yeah, Candace said this on the show before.
Yeah,
they tell it on themselves.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I feel like is missing a lot of times from these conversations is the average wealth of the average Black family. Like, that never gets discussed. Like, we sitting here really talking about women's degrees and they own their homes and all of this other stuff, when the fact of the matter is that the average Black household's median wealth is $24,000 versus the average white household's median wealth, which is $189,000. Why aren't we talking about that?
Exactly.
And guess where a lot of that disparity comes from? Home ownership, owning property, generational wealth generated through home ownership. So it's like, are we really, as Black people, having a conversation as a woman actually owning a home being something that's seen as a downside? Again, when we have mass incarceration, when we have these high school dropout rates being what they are, when we have illiteracy rates being what they are, but the problem is women actually trying to generate generational wealth through home ownership. That's the problem.
And all these evictions that's happening right now. Like, I know here in Georgia, especially in South Georgia, I have a soror that works in housing down there. People are literally getting put out their apartments and duplexes like every other day because the rent spike is affecting that part of the state. And it's just horrible. but then you don't want to date a woman who own her own home. I don't.
You know, the men are not even getting homes. From what I see, it's not even because of a lack of income and finance. Because I know a lot of guys that make good money, enough money to go get a home. It's just they're not putting everything together. They're not working on their credit. They're not being financially responsible. When you're being financially responsible, it's just not all about bringing in the money. It's about how you keep the money, how you save the money, and how you spend it also, right? So a lot of men, they do have the means, the money to afford a home, but they just not living a homeowner's life. You know what I'm saying? It's a different lifestyle when you own a home. You know, it's a lot of things that you have to learn, and a lot of ways you have to spend your money now. You know, and so I'm not. Because when I had a home loan from the military since I was 18, never even used it. You know, never even used it. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like I don't need a home because I don't have a wife. That's just was my thing on it, you know. So I was never going to go get this big home and by myself. I never felt the need to do that. Right. I know there's a lot of different reasons for men to not have their own home and for women to have a home. So, but I would never not be with a woman because she has her own home. It's just like kind of hard. It's kind of slow. Like obviously that wasn't even if you didn't even have a home, that wasn't even a big deal for you to get it. You know, it's kind of like these women are shitting on men, and now they like, you know, I'm mad. Oh no, forget you. You got your own home. You outdoing me. I can't mess with you. Like it's kind of like some jealous type stuff to me. Like what's going
crazy.
I think it's because masculinity has gotten so fragile now. Like, it's not even just the home. It's the education. It's how loud you are. You can't be fat. You got to wear the hair that you were born with. You can't wear makeup now. It's a whole bunch to it. Like, now everything, oh, no, it's emasculating.
But they boning all of them. They boning all of them.
Exactly. And then they throw in, well, I'm not marrying him. You're not marrying anybody, technically.
And then if you are married, obviously you unhappy because you on the internet 9 hours out of the day talking about all these different instances of unhappiness. Like, I'm just saying, if we're gonna keep it all the way 100 tonight,
but the women
you talking about all these things that women are doing in marriages, and that's why the family is failing. And really low key, nobody in the comments really want to say it out loud, or nobody on the panel wants to really look at you and say, how you know all this going on? What you got going on at your house?
But the women women that they talk about are the same women that's getting married, though. The big women, they're getting married. They're getting a lot of attention. I see a lot of big women.
I swear me and Darwin like right here tonight.
The big one, they getting married. These loud women, they getting married. These women with degrees, they getting married. But you're not. So obviously they're not the problem. You know what I'm saying? I think anybody that wants to get married, they can go out and get married if they want to. It's just the matter if they want to settle or if they just want to look within themselves and get their shit together and go out and get the person they want. You know what I'm saying? Like, or a lot of people just don't want to be in. And even if you found the perfect person, you still got to be in for that person because you're gonna get in that relationship and be like, man, you gonna see some things. You're like, what's going on? You know, I thought you was perfect. Yeah, he is perfect. Just being with the person. You know what I'm saying? Just being with him. Just being with her. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has to know you're not gonna, everything's not gonna always be right in no situation. You know what I'm saying? And you can just tell because even with your parents, you fought and fuss with your parents all the time. You love them the most, right? So how do you figure you gonna meet a stranger and things just go, you know what I'm saying, on the smooth line like that? So no, you got to put some work in.
Yeah. And I respect a guy who's like, look, I just want to have my own. I want to be financially secure. I respect that. I respect a man who's like, look, I want to get my house together before, I get married or get serious. I respect that. But I just think it's whack if a guy is like, oh, I don't have mine, or I do have mine, but she got one too. So, I don't want her. To me, that's a little suspect. But we're going to go ahead and move on. I do want people to call in if you have anything to say about this topic. The number is 574-943-5971. All right. You can also join our live screen or our live stream, I should say. I'm going to go ahead and post the link in our comments section. All right. But
Lena sound like she worked for Allstate. She like, we ain't want to talk about that life insurance though. We trying to get
But I mean, that's true. You know, a lot of time we die without, you know, having any type of life insurance or anything for our children or our families that's left behind. A lot of times, what families doing, scraping together, trying to get money to bury people, starting GoFundMe's and all types of things because there's no life insurance there that no one's paid into. And I mean, even with the life insurance, like there's different types of life insurance, like, you know, where you can like borrow out of, or that, you know, gains interest and different things like that. And people are not investing in that, you know, kind of set up their families once they're not here anymore. So that's facts.
Life insurance, burial or cremation, you know, and really, and I'm gonna step on some toes tonight because I got time. I got a little bit of time tonight. I'm gonna step on some toes. A lot of times, it's always to these guys, you never hear them really dialogue about financial responsibility on their own. I have a big issue with everything that you're responsible for, not just as a man or a woman, but just as a person in general. If you always have to bring up the opposite sex to talk about how you're able to do A, B, and C, that's a personal problem. That ain't got nothing to do with feminism, masculinity, or none of the above. That is a personal problem. Like, what are you running from? If you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to finances, managing a home, managing just life in general, because, you know, that's the other part. A lot of these guys, you better date a woman who owns her own home, because some of you all came from homes where there was no conversation about money, no sides, as I would say, to go with the meat. I mean, when I met my husband, these jokers were having barbecues. What the sides at though? Oh, we ain't got no side dishes. What? Women bring sides to your life. You need some potato salad to go with that chicken. You can't just throw a slab of ribs on there. Oh, it's some chips in the cabinet. You ain't tired of eating chips? Like, you ain't tired of just getting by? And see, that's where the real thing is. Like, you gotta give a little to get a little. Okay? Yeah, you gotta sacrifice to be in a healthy relationship. Yes, it's not gonna always be your way. This ain't Burger King.
And these men have to understand that they attract what they are. So if you steady getting these low caliber women in your life, that means you're a low caliber dude. It's just how it is. That's just how life is. You know what I'm saying? And it took my wife to tell me that. You know, she's like, you may look at yourself. If you steady, if all you dating and getting is thoughts and these ratchet women, that means like they like you. The ratchet women's like you, and the higher caliber women, they not coming towards you for some reason. They not in your in your area because for some whatever reason they look at you as one of the ratchets, just like you looking at these women like one of the ratchets. So these men, when y'all complain about all these women and y'all just can't get a good one, that means you're not a good dude, because you know a good woman can find a good man and a good man can find a good woman. You know, and then y'all can try to see if y'all on the same page then. But for you to always have these complaints about a woman don't do this and 8 out of 10 women coochie stink, like what's really going on? Like what is y'all meeting these women's at? I just want to know, like, what zoo do y'all work at?
You just said a whole word, and they might come in tonight and get you, but I'm co-signing sustain. I'm in my gravel on that one.
Look, they can't get me because they can't even get a woman. So I know they can't get me.
The whole conversation be about trifling women and baby mamas and child support, when really what you really need to be saying is, this is my life right now. I'm that dude with the 5 kids and the 6 baby mamas. I'm that dude that smashed every and anything moving. That's where you really need to start at, instead of starting at, she own her own home, I can't date her. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
We need to be having different conversations.
That's it. Other than how black women are making your life so miserable because they're progressing in life. What?
Right.
But you know what, y'all women, whenever y'all hear these men talk like that, y'all should just ignore them, because when I'm talking to some of these guys and they start talking that crazy stuff, I just be like, man, yeah, you lost in the sauce, because and something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna be like this forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't care. It don't bother me that you think this way and that you can't get a woman and you don't want to take advice from someone that has all these things that you trying to get, but go ahead and think how you thinking, because I'm not here to change nobody's life. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna be sitting in that nursing home. They're gonna be sitting in them nursing homes talking about, I don't need no sass and back talk, and that CNA gonna leave you laying in your own feces and urine because you could have had a wife and some kids who loved you, but you had 100,000 reasons as to why you weren't made.
That's just a theory.
Have a family.
That's just a stereotype about the sponge baths.
Why black
folks not getting sponge baths in nurse homes? So y'all think y'all these dudes? Y'all think y'all gonna be getting the sponge baths that y'all think y'all go get in there? Y'all nah.
Exactly.
Yo, you gonna be getting tossed on the floor. I worked in nursing home. Ain't not getting sponge baths. Y'all getting tossed on the floor and laying there the whole night until the next shift come pick y'all up.
My grandparents, my grandma used to say, but my maternal grandmother, she was like, "Oh, they ain't gonna mess with me in here because I got a family. I got people who love me. Who you got?" She told this racist white guy who looked like he had nobody in the world in a wheelchair, just decrepit, telling this lady, "You gonna do what I tell you to do." Okay, yeah, he was probably vice president of the Manosphere. You see where that got him?
You so silly. Oh, y'all are going in tonight. All right, but real stuff. That's real stuff. It's true. I know a lot of men won't want to hear it, but hey, it is what it is.
I see Nina. I see Nina
cracking me up. Yeah, she said y'all show out. Y'all class show out. Yes.
I don't know who she talking about. They were acting up. Ash.
I just want to go.
I wasn't even here.
Nina,
I wasn't even here last week.
Yeah, I left early.
Exactly.
You see this, Nina? You see this? All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Is that true? We have all grown up hearing this, right? That once a man cheats, he will always cheat. Now, we can apply this to women as well because we know that there are women who cheat, right? So once a cheater, always a cheater. Is that true?
Actually, women don't cheat.
No, you gotta say it in your No, you gotta say it in what's the comedian name? The one from Jacksonville? You gotta say it in his voice. Black men don't cheat.
Right. That's what
Black men don't cheat. I don't know what you're talking about. Black men don't cheat.
And black women don't cheat.
No, black men exercise options, but then we just out here just what we do.
Ungrateful, ingrates is what black women are.
Yes, Super Saiyan wife. Yes.
All right, what do y'all think?
I think everybody is a cheater. It's just circumstances. I think if you in a certain mode and just say and you can get away with it and your wife then just ain't coming home and stuff is just all chaotic in your home and you're a little vulnerable and you might go out and cheat. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody got it in them. You know, it just depends on the situation presents itself. You know what I'm saying? Because you know.
Wait a minute, pause. Not vulnerable.
Hey, I was about to say drunk. I was about to say you get a little drunk.
This sounds like some pimp talk, but keep going, Darwin.
But no, seriously though, I think I think if you cheated once, that means you got it in you, right? Like that obviously was an option for you to do once things was not right for you. So that means it's in you, and it can potentially be in you again if things don't be right again, right? So, you know, I don't know if you'll do it again, you know what I'm saying, or if the situation presents itself. But I think if you like to cheat when things don't go right, then I think that's how some people cope with things. Yeah, I mean, I think some people. I don't think it's for everybody.
People don't just cheat when things ain't going right, though. What about people who just be cheating?
Shit. I don't know the definition of everybody's cheating. You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, because I just realized that I used to be cheating. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't realize that. And this is the thing. Like, communication is key, right? Some women, if you're talking to women and entertaining women in a way, your wife go be like, man, you cheating. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's a no for her. That's like this is not allowed in our relationship. And at the time I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Until we had that talk. Like, yeah, you can't be doing X. I can't talk to them like this. I don't care if it's just for fun or you entertaining this and that. You just can't do it, right? So I had to realize, okay, yeah, because in the same regards, if she was saying some things to guys that I didn't want and she kept doing it, I'd be like, man, you crossing some lines, and you cheating, you know what I'm saying? And even if you're not cheating, you should have cheated. Because I got this thought about you in my head talking to these dudes, so you might as well went all the way. You know what I mean?
Hey y'all, we got Mr. Rucker backstage. I'm gonna bring him on. Mr. Rucker, you a little late.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a little late. Thank you for having me on the show.
How are you?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Right, we all the way on the next topic now.
Yes.
Mr. Rucker, tell us about how you be cheating. Come on. No.
No, that's funny.
On this topic.
Yeah, that's funny because I do cheat on my girl, but I cheat on her with work.
Okay.
So I don't really cheat based on like there's another woman out there. Now, if I don't like what she does, I'm just going to get rid of her. I'm going to let her know what's up and this is why it's happening. But sometimes you can't just be with your woman all the time, but you don't want to cheat. So you need to pick up a hobby or a second job. So quote unquote, men should cheat on their women, but you have to cheat on them with some work, be productive.
So are you working more because you don't want to be around her?
Well, I'm working more because I want to get my own house, hint.
Okay.
And I want to get a particular house.
Okay.
Almost there. But again, I can't just be with her all the time because, you know, your spouse will get on your nerves, intentionally or unintentionally. It'll drive you insane a little bit. Get off of work, come home to an argument, you do the same thing over and over again. You got to break that up sometimes. So you got to cheat, quote unquote, on your spouse with some hobbies like painting with wine, get a second job, go to the gym.
Masturbation.
Oh, Lord.
That's a little sad. But, yeah.
But I want to clarify. So I think that you're saying you have to have other aspects of your life.
That's the thing.
Not be around somebody all the time, because that's when maybe arguments and little things might start to, you know, come up. Is that what you're not saying, oh, find an escape from dysfunction and I deal with it. You're saying more so, okay, like you need a life. And I
balance.
Because I remember we were having this conversation, kind of touching on this conversation when we talked about girls' trips, you know, and it's like some of the people on one of the podcasts that addressed this were like, I don't need a break from my husband. My wife don't need a break from me. And, you know, you don't have to say break, but the truth of the matter is people need their own life. You know, a wife and a husband would need their own hobbies, friends. It doesn't mean you neglect your marriage, but I can't even imagine being a woman that's like, baby, you can't have no friends, or I don't want you to go out. Like, no, go out. Like, you need to enjoy life outside of us as well.
Well, it depends on her friends. Her friends could be ratchet.
I mean, that's a whole topic, but
yeah, but like even with that, I mean, people are still adults. I don't choose adults friends for them. Like, you know, people have to make their own choices, you know, and have that own discernment. You don't be like, that is weird to me. I would never tell an adult. I mean, I may bring up some of my concerns or say, hey, this is what I think about this person or that, but I'm not gonna be like, you don't need to be friends with them. Like, that's weird to me. You don't tell grown people who they can and can't hang out with or be friends with.
So, Mr. Rucker, what do you think? Always, once a cheater, always a cheater. Not cheating in the sense of like having sex outside of your marriage or relationship.
I think so. I think once you do it, it's always in the back of your mind. And plus, it's never going to be the same if you get back together. Especially if a man does it, it scars a woman so much. She may take you back, but it won't be the same. So it's like, you know, you might as well just end it because she's just scarred. She can't be fixed. Like, it's not going to be better.
Okay.
What's wrong with scars? What's wrong with scars? We got them on that. What's wrong with scars? That's my question.
Well, it gets annoying sometimes. Like, you can't be punished for doing nothing. And then, you know, she's always going to be paranoid because of what you did. So it's like, well, you might as well just end it because you're scarred. I can't fix it.
You know why scars are irritating?
Why?
Because people pick at them. You know why scars heal? Because we leave them alone. And see, that's the beauty of therapy. You have to challenge the way that you think about certain behaviors, you know. So a scar, okay, say I got a scar right, yeah. See, if I had a scar right here, right, you know, like a cut or whatever, Long as Miss Jovo keep doing this every day, and I keep doing this and doing this, that scar is going to continue to burn. It's going to continue to be irritable. And I'm not treating it. I'm just literally picking at it. But see, when you treat a scar, you put the right ointments on it. You dress it. Okay. You let time, because oh wow, let me use the T word, because nowadays, time, patience, understanding. Oh my God, those are foreign words, Miss Mosley. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's our problem. We want instant gratification. Okay, man cheat on me. I want him to do all these fairy tale things for me. Okay, and then my scar gonna magically go away, and then it's gonna be happily ever after, and I can say that we healed. But that's not how it goes. So scars, ain't nothing wrong with a scar. The problem is us. We pick at the scar, and then we make an already visible scar, that may look like a deformity, depending on what it is. We make it worse because we don't want to heal. And part of healing is accepting that it happened.
Yep.
Understanding that, okay, you can't go back. He can't go back, sis. Bruh, they can't go back and do it. And I'm not telling anybody here, if cheating is your deal breaker, okay, that's you. But I'm telling you that when you're married, you see things a little bit differently.
Yeah. And it just makes me think about how if, it's not one thing that has so-called scarred you, it's going to be another thing. So, you know what I mean? So I get what Ms. Rucker is saying. Like, there might be a relationship where you've hurt somebody and they have not done the work that they need to do to move past it. And they're resentful, they're jealous, they are having a hard time gaining trust of you again. And you might need to walk away from that, right? But I think that a lot of times men will cheat on a woman and expect her to bounce back right away. But I think that needs some nurturing and that needs some time. And you don't want to just like bail out because trust hasn't been built right away, because it's going to be something else. If it's not cheating, it's going to be something else that, shakes your trust or your relationship or the foundation of your relationship. So I say you got to sometimes just let time take its place and do all of those things that.
Yeah, you got to do the work. I mean, people out here want to heal, but they, you can't go to urgent care for everything. Okay, you might have a 3rd-degree burn and they look at it in urgent care, but they're going to tell you, okay, we're going to need some skin grafting. We're going to need some other things to heal you completely. And these things are going to take time. And you either someone who, depending upon how you value this relationship, okay, in this marriage, you're willing to take that time to wait for the healing. Or you may not be in a place where you're able to do that, and that's okay too. I think people just need to be realistic when we talk about infidelity altogether. Like, I saw infidelity one way before I got married, and now I see it a totally different way. And infidelity has not been a reality in my marriage, but just being around other married couples where infidelity has been a reality, I'm now, I think I had been married for like 10, 11 years. I had to challenge the way that I think about it. Like, we talking about you're in and I'm only talking about marriage to the people in the chat and people watching, okay? You're in a situation where not only are you saying, okay, I'm done with this. Now we're talking about just even down to the minute, you're moving out of the house and he moving out. The kids now are learning about what happened. Kids gonna confront you with certain questions like, well, mommy, you always tell us if we make a mistake and you'll forgive us and we take accountability. Will dad do the same thing? Why can't you forgive him or whatever? Is this different? Like, I really had to challenge some of my thinking when it came to infidelity as a wife versus when I was just out there dating. And that's when I learned, and like I, say every week on the show, people don't just do BS or do crazy stuff just to be doing it. There's always a thought pattern that follows before it. And so I think that anybody who's dealing with this, once a cheater, always a cheater. You might have it in you, but just because you got it in you don't mean that you have to exercise that behavior. You can change that thought pattern. You just got to be willing to do that.
Okay. All right, Mr. Rucker, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I would just say, people take advantage of cheaters. of saying like you don't know if they're really healed or they're healed or they just not that bothered by it, but they'll take advantage of that situation and take advantage of that person that cheated. And it's really like it's unethical to do that. So if you ain't gonna just accept true forgiveness, you might as well just let it go rather than just drag it out because you're wasting time.
Wait a minute, you say take advantage of the cheater.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'll take you back, but you got to do this, 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 and this, and it never stops. They always keep moving the goalposts.
Okay, so when women cheat in relationships and men accept them back, you say men do that? Like they keep moving the goalposts for the woman?
No, both do that. Men and women do that. Mostly women, but both men do that too. It's like, well, let me check your phone. Like I didn't have to do that before, but you cheated, so.
Most men go kill the woman or the boy or the dude you cheated with, or just leave the woman alone. Ain't too many men I know accepting women that's cheating. So
it happens. It depends how good.
A lot of men that's accepting women. But
I don't know. I have to say it's some men
so you ain't dealing with cheating.
They don't want women who got houses, so they definitely don't.
Come on now, y'all, make it make sense.
Well, most
women that's cheating, but not houses, huh?
Yeah. I think most men aren't gonna stay with the woman that's cheated. It's kind of like, oh no, another man's had. I just had this conversation with my brother, but it does happen, right? And there are some men who actually do stay. Like it's kind of crazy, but
I'm a therapist. I've heard stories. I'm just telling you, it happens. And the reason that I hear from a lot of these men, and they're older, I've been with her since we were like 19, 18 years old. And it's like, we got kids, we got a family. Do I really want to dismantle what I've been so comfortable and accustomed to having? And they stay. And it really takes, like, they don't realize that, if she's continuing to cheat, like that's a form of abuse. Like she's just really taking advantage of the fact that you're staying here. Like you need to set some boundaries, some type of some safety and guidelines for yourself emotionally.
Man, if a woman cheat, you might as well throw her. You ain't no going back. If a woman,
I was gonna say
cheats, no. If a woman cheats, that means she almost in love. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So what if hold on, wait a minute.
I want to say
pause. What about the levels of cheating that you just talked about? What if a woman cheating like how you be cheating or how you had in the past? Like, oh, I'm just talking. Oh, it was just a comment here and there. Is that the same?
Oh, that's almost the same too. And they getting to know. Hey, listen here. When women is getting finessed by these dudes, they try to act like they not getting finessed. Like, oh no, we just talking. Like, hey, he's spitting game. I know this guy. I know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? and the woman is just steady. You know what I'm saying? Having these conversations and he's getting emotionally attached to this dude. Like, it's over with. Like, you might as well just hang it up because it's over.
My dudes get played all the time.
See, y'all assume that all these women who are flirting with these men or they're out here having these emotional conversations or relationships with these men, y'all assuming that their heartstrings are getting tied to that guy.
Yes.
And it's not true, y'all. And I know why men think this way because
I say this because it is. I say it because it is. Men, if a man can have sex with a woman without impressing her financially or with a car or with this great charisma that he's supposed to have and his charming attitude and just have sex with a woman, he would do it. It's not too many women that's just going out finding any dude be like he can have but
that's more of a safety concern than it is feelings.
But I think
women have some type of standards when they having some. Man, we don't have standards.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you is that that's more of a safety, but that's more of a safety concern. That's more of a safety concern than it is anything with feelings.
I think that I think the distinction is that a woman might actually be with somebody that she doesn't have feelings for, but the motivation is sometimes tied to emotions. Like she's feeling like she's emotionally disconnected from who she's with, or the guy doesn't show her any attention. The guy is whatever. Like she might have some emotional reason for why she's doing it. but I think that she may or may not have feelings for the guy.
But the thing is this: when women is having sex with men, right? I believe y'all find some. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just speaking from what I've seen. Y'all find some value in that man to have sex with him. Men, we don't need no value at all. So if y'all find any value to man, it can translate into something else.
But just because y'all don't need it, don't mean y'all not searching for it.
It can develop into something.
Just because y'all don't need it doesn't mean you're not searching for it. Like y'all ain't like Rick James. Y'all ain't all cold blooded. Okay, like.
I know that's why I said we ain't got no Stevie Bone and whatever.
Like it's some emotional. When
that's why y'all be crying in the strip club. We heard about it. I ain't gonna lie. But I was gonna say
awareness. like my husband will have a conversation. You talking about strip club? My husband is that dude who will have a whole conversation probably with a female in a strip club.
Yes, because
he talks. And me, the way that now in his mind, he thinking I'm just talking. But in my mind, I'm like, why you asking her about where she going to school at?
Nowhere, you know what I mean?
We trying not to suck on some titties. That's why.
What's wrong with that?
I assure you, they don't.
Most of y'all are socialized to do that. But what I'm saying is that there are emotional reasons why men cheat as well.
Absolutely.
He might just lack companionship or just lack. Some of the things that I've heard in session include, I just want somebody to ask me how my day was when I get off of work, or this person that I'm with outside of my relationship with my wife, she actually generally we have conversations not just about everyday stuff, but just about life in general. These are things that I hear from men in session. Like they ain't out here just boning because she fine. That's
okay. So hypothetical question to all the ladies on the panel, right?
Okay.
If you were to cheat, got pushed to the point, and you didn't break up with your man, but you was like, y'all ain't having sex for whatever reason. It's like, man, I'm not even fucking with him anyways. Y'all go out of town on a girl trip, right? And you in your mind, you like, I'm just waiting this thing out. So I think that's the reason why a lot of people cheat. They be still in relationships that they don't want to be in anyways. They just say y'all in one of those modes or whatever. Like, are y'all going to cheat with a dude that has no substance, no value, or y'all go find a dude that's looking nice and has a little something? Who y'all go cheat with? Just a question. That's hypothetical.
The thing is that
ain't no thing is you gotta know.
The thing is that with the premise that you put forth of you're ready to end the previous relationship, I think that anyone, women or men, who are checked out on the current relationship and are seeking actively, like basically dating again, right? They're looking for substance because they're probably looking for the next relationship. But that is not the only reason people cheat.
No,
just like Miss Jovo said, but hold on. But just like Miss Jovo said, if it's a woman who, what if her husband is having some type of erectile dysfunction or something else is going on? She could literally go after just the physical with somebody. It don't have to be any kind of emotional connection. Maybe she still have the emotional.
I ain't talking about no outrageous stuff. No erectile dysfunction.
That's not outrageous.
He lost his legs in war.
That's not outrageous.
All right.
But that's
with a functional
pretty
dude.
common. That's not outrageous.
No, that's really not.
Darwin, I literally heard a guy tell me that this I guess his mistress or his side piece, whatever you call it, situation or whatever, she listens when he speaks. They have conversations outside of conversations that a husband and wife would have. Like, his complaint was, we're always talking about bills. We're always talking about the family. We're always talking about the house. But when I try to have conversations with my wife, when I try to pour her a glass of wine or us time, I don't get that from her. I'm completely shut down.
Wow.
It took months for him to even sleep with the lady who is his current, whatever. And the whole time leading up to them being physically intimate, it was hand holding and them sitting at the bar and basically having, you know, dates and him having conversation. So, you know, I ain't saying that's all men's story, but I'm just telling you that it happens. I'm
just saying, okay, for whatever reason y'all decide to cheat, if y'all decide to cheat, hypothetically, what type of dude are you gonna cheat with? A dude or some substance, or you just go out and
the dude in the moment that's going to fulfill the reason that I have thought in my head. This is why I need to go.
So you put some thought to it. What I'm saying is,
all behavior is a choice.
I was just about to say, if we have checked out
to everything,
if we done checked out, then we
But no, I know what Darwin's saying if you are dating a guy who's a B, you're not gonna get a guy who a C.
Depend on look, it depends on if you're rational enough to think that this is somebody I don't see myself with long term. I need an itch that need to be scratched. He look like he can do it. I ain't gonna care about where he work at, what he do.
So you cheat, and you feel like he can go to Pound Town.
Hey, I'm just saying, I'm gonna cheat based on the reason why I should be cheating.
I just want an honest answer. Like, y'all was to cheat, if y'all looking for a guy that look like he can put it down, or y'all looking for like that guy that's like potentially gonna be the next one? Like that's my question.
It depends on
what you're relationship. If you're in a trashy relationship.
Yeah, like if you're still trying to maintain your current relationship,
nobody's girl for the next at least 10 years. What are you talking about?
You just trying to, you know, like. But to your point, what I was saying is the biggest difference that I think that a lot of men misconstrue again as feelings and things like that, with women being more discerning. Again, that's because women have to be more discerning, because for a couple reasons, just like you stated, most of the time you can figure out a way to have some type of sexual pleasure with almost like any woman, whatever, almost, unless they got some type of extreme shenanigans going on. But for us, we do tend to be a lot more discerning, because what's the point of having an experience if it's not going to be good, right? So yeah, for that reason, not because we need the feelings, but because it's like, is this gonna be worth my while? Like,
you would never know anyway, so you have sex. So y'all think about that beforehand.
But what I'm saying is that that's where the different discernment comes in at, right? Also, again, there is more of a threat level with us dealing with men than it necessarily is with you all dealing with women. Like, yeah, you get women who come and bust tires out and do stuff that can happen, you know, as an extreme, but you dealing with the wrong dude. He gonna put your lights out. He gonna do all types of stuff. So you guys gotta be real careful about who you dealing with. So it's more so that than to be like, ooh, because I really love it.
So basically, y'all some tactical cheaters. Y'all like the John Wick of cheating. Yeah. I'll be doing putting that much thought into cheating, huh? Okay, John Wicks.
We did all that, and that's what you said.
You said hypothetical, Darwin. Don't start that.
John Wicks of cheating. Okay, we gotta watch them.
They plotting.
Exactly.
I know he's trying to get y'all like a little bit of credit, and y'all like,
Right. Yeah, I mean, I be trying to tell these men the truth. They don't want to listen. They want to be like, women are sugar and spice and everything nice.
Yeah, then they say, oh, y'all never tell on women. Yes, we
right. Exactly. But they don't want to hear the stuff that we telling.
No, I know because I know women can get down and cheat, but I know women cheat. I just was asking like,
it's not always for emotional
what type of guys do y'all look for when y'all cheat, or is it just like, do y'all cheat up or down? Because I think most guys, we would probably cheat down. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest, I never seen the guy, all of my guys, they regretted it. Like, shit, why did I even do that? Like, I just went and found a regular bust down and bone, just the bone, and didn't put no thought into it. Like, if I get caught, could this potentially be, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't thinking like that. We just like, whatever.
Yeah. I get what Darwin was saying. Some women, but here's the thing though. Like, I think that some women though, they will get with the guy or cheat with the man who might have some aspect of him that's better. Like, she might find something in that man that she's not finding in her husband or her boyfriend or whatever. But that doesn't mean he's better all around. You know, she might perceive him to being better in that one aspect, or, you know. So I really just think it depends on the woman, you know.
since we answered Darwin's question, I want to ask a question real quick. So I've noticed sometimes, when people like cheat and come back, they tend to get addicted to the PO aura, Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't know if I sounded like a ding or something.
What that stand for first? POR. What's that?
She said PORN.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
No, I was trying not to be obvious. I don't know. I didn't know they were gonna ding us or something. Because you can't say anything. But I didn't know.
Go ahead.
My question is, if you guys get back together, it works out, but now they're addicted to it, is that still considered cheating? Because now, a lot of women say they don't want their man watching that. So
like that.
Boo.
I mean, I'm just asking.
I was gonna ask Mr. Rucker.
If you're doing the same amount of effort, if you're spending money on memberships and all this other kind of stuff.
Okay.
What say you, Mr. Rucker?
I see that as practice. How I'm going to learn some new moves and try out some things if I don't see it out there. I got to see it.
That's what your problem is.
Oh, that right, Orange.
Not real life.
Yeah, but
you studying.
If you stretch out a little bit, like, hey, babe, let's try this. Let's try that. Okay, that didn't work. Let's do this. Like, she can join in, but I'm not going to be told what to not watch. Like, I'm a grown man, pay bills.
Half the moves I've done on you, babe, was from watching porn. So
exactly.
You need to cut it out.
It's a win-win. What's the problem?
You like them.
I said addicted. I didn't say casually. Like, the porn is replacing the side chick.
We're gonna have to go to a AA meeting to find out if we addicted to it or not. I don't know how many times we gotta watch it.
They do have support meetings.
Yes, they're all sex addicts, guys.
If you or someone you love has an addiction to that, hit up Miss Jovo. We have some resources for you. It's a real addiction.
I mean, but my question, like I just wonder why guys always think that about women and feelings, when I'm sure that men, just like you're saying, like, we sleep with this woman, that woman, whatever. I'm sure you could think of plenty of instances that you've been with women who you knew.
You want to know why? Because when I asked this question, y'all had all this thought behind it, and if I asked the men the question, they'd be like, "I'm gonna fuck a bus." You're talking about expression, right? The way we express things. But I'm talking about, I'm sure that you slept with women in the past who did not have any feelings for you. Who I knew didn't have feelings for me? Yeah. Do you think every woman you've ever slept with had feelings for you? No. Right. But every woman I was dealing with, I do. But like, I'm talking about slept with, right? So I just wonder why guys, especially guys who sleep around, who have slept with women who they know didn't have feelings. Like, anytime a woman sleep with somebody, they got feelings. Like, when they actually slept with women who didn't have feelings. No, that's not what I was saying. I was asking a question to see, like, what type of guy or what drives your motivation to cheat. Is it because you looking for some type of the future with the next guy, or you just want to get smashed and get an organ? Like, that's what I'm asking. Like, I don't.
Yeah, 500, Alex.
Right. I already know you're not gonna have feelings for everybody you smash all the time. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do like to get a nut off.
I don't think so, Darren. I think some women cheat just because they're not getting something that they feel like they need or something that they want in the relationship, and they ideally would want that relationship to work out. But I do think that it could lead to something else, especially if
he hit it right.
Right. The feelings will come out if he hits it right.
Yeah, if he hit it right,
It's too much credit. Really? That's too much. The limit is here, and that's where y'all at. Y'all give yourselves too much credit. Anyway, y'all think y'all getting in relationships just off the wood.
I know your reaction was only with me because I hit it right, and I wasn't giving them nothing else. So I would have to be like, only reason you with me is because I hit it right. Like,
conversation. The end result is always the same. Okay, so I don't know why. Oh, because you use your left knee and he uses right. Then
it's y'all fault. Y'all fault.
Y'all need to quit. I need y'all to evolve from this like yesterday. Okay, it's all the same result. It's all gonna be the same result. Okay?
You know. The thing is this: y'all women do a lot of lying to men to feed our ego, right? So we wouldn't know what's the truth or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I boned 50 women straight, and they all said that was the first time they ever had a great orgasm. So I know most of them was lying. You know what I'm saying? So
what you just say, bro?
How you
excuse me?
That's how y'all lie, Darwin. I hate to be
talking about a body count. Hold on, what you just say?
Right.
Yeah, like I can't. All these women that was telling me, "Oh, you're the best I ever had," this and that. Come on, now. I'm not that naive. I know I wasn't the best because I didn't give you my best. And if this was the best, and you like this old, then something is wrong. Like, don't say all this stuff to feed my ego. And then on the other hand, y'all try to act like, no, because we really don't be having no emotions for you. Well, y'all making all these guys that y'all have sex with feel like y'all do. So of course, that's why when we talk like this, because
it's a safety concern.
It's not because
safety concern.
How many times have you told the dude after sex like that shit was whack?
Right.
You want to get choked out? You want to get choked out?
How many times have you had sex with the same dude that didn't give you an orgasm?
I don't know that well. Your wood was trash, and then
I can't even talk to them back. How many times have you had sex with a dude that didn't give you an orgasm?
What I'm saying is that
ignoring
no.
There's freaking dudes that ain't satisfying you. So it has to be for love.
Conversations. No, we've had these conversations about
it ain't for a nut, so it's for love.
No, we've had these conversations about
it's really not.
It's social.
So why you doing it? Why you doing it? Y'all
Let me
confusing.
finish. We've had these conversations about the difference in the way that men and women are socialized from birth. And one of those things is that sex is instilled in women as a thing that is for men, which is why a lot of times it takes women until they get a lot older to begin to be more sexually expressive, more in tune with their sexuality, and more comfortable with asking for the things that they want. It's not because they're in love and so much. It's because we're socialized to be like, oh, well, men are supposed to enjoy sex.
You're right. You're right. But still, on the flip side, it still can be confusing to men.
Right.
When women are steady having sex with men and they're not getting an orgasm, but they still coming back. So when y'all do that, y'all empowering the men to think that he's some sexual demon. Like, oh yeah, she keeps coming back. I must be teared up. That's what I'm talking about.
But
you have to understand that
it's about communication, right? And so what?
Yeah,
what
y'all be right. That's why y'all be lying.
No. What Cannon is saying is that most women are not even taught or not even.
That's not our fault.
They're not even.
You're right. That's what I was gonna say. I agree with Darby. You're right. It's not their fault.
It's not my fault that a woman can't tell me that I'm not hitting it right, so I can work on my strokes. That's not my fault.
You have to blame the
tell me so I can get better.
No, you just listen to a man talk about he's intimidated by a woman having a house, and you think men is out here ain't got fragile egos that's just gonna be like,
that don't mean y'all have to. Y'all enabling them. These men know. So because
we live in a patriarchy.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, Joe. In 2022,
if you're gonna be with somebody, you do have to communicate, though, right?
No. I'm not disagreeing that's what should happen. What I'm saying is
now y'all scared of her feelings. Come on now.
No, what I'm saying is he's ignoring the context to try to act like we don't live in a patriarchal society where men do have egos, where being in service of a man's ego a lot of times is contingent upon a woman's safety. Right? Is it what I'm saying? You can't ignore that context when having the conversation.
I'm sorry. I probably will get y'all teeth knocked out by a couple of guys. Y'all was like, hey, your stroke game is fucked up, dude.
Yeah. Walking around here with 2 teeth talking about I told him.
Right.
Mr. Rucker, you were trying to say something?
Yeah, he's right about that. But that patriarchy in 2022, I don't see how that's still happening in 2022. Women are winning. They're owning houses. They have no problem speaking up. They're saying the wood's trash. So how is the patriarchy? Like, what's the punishment if you speak up? You just get another man? I mean, what's the problem?
Do you not see all these stories in the news about even women who do speak up and say, I don't want to date you, and now they finding bodies? Like,
yeah,
like there are still a large group of men who feel entitled that if you don't give me what I want as a man, then I got the right to take you out. You know, we can argue that it's psychological, mental, and all those things,
right.
But the reality of it is it's increased. Like, I don't know if any, and I think Cannon, I can't remember what show, but Cannon did share the stats with us about how a lot of these women, they're not even dating these guys. And it's like the one here recently, where the young lady was attacked, and you know, she's now no longer here in her apartment complex because there was a guy who steadily kept asking her out, and she finally spoke up and said, I want nothing to do with you, and he took her out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the
girl that was shot at the parade for telling the guy no. He just
exactly.
Like, that was instant.
So I think it's almost like racism, like how okay, so we as Black people have certain laws in place that help us, but there are still mindsets that are oppressive, right, and or harmful to communities. And so I personally don't think there's like patriarchy in and of itself is not bad to me, just like matriarchy is. And I think they have to coexist with each other. If you look at ancient African civilizations, there was patriarchy and matriarchy. There were roles and places, and you know what I mean? We weren't at war with each other about who's in charge and whose fault is this, So I don't think patriarchy in and of itself is just so bad. I just think that there are some mindsets that have developed alongside that are the problem. And so, yeah, Mr. Rucker, like women can own our own houses, we can vote, we can run for office, we can have jobs, but there's still a lot of mindsets that men have that are very oppressive and or I guess like demeaning, So it's just harder to prove now. It's like racism. It's harder to prove now because it's not so overt. That's what I think. But we're going to get ready to move on. Did anybody want to say any last little piece about that topic?
I do. I want to say something. You can change any behavior with how you change the way that you think about it. If you consistently think that it's quote unquote okay to cheat or there's nothing wrong with infidelity, if you have that in your thought process and that's in you, then if you don't challenge those thoughts and you don't work on changing that behavior, then when something else triggers it, more than likely it's going to come back out. But when you challenge how you think about your behavior, you will not recycle the same experiences. The experiences will change. It's just as simple as that. But you got to be willing to do the work on challenging those thoughts.
Can single people cheat?
I was thinking the same thing. I just couldn't play in the field when I was. Yeah, I didn't think it was. I don't think this ain't cheating. If
you're not in a committed relationship and you go out with Doug on a Monday, I've talked about this on the show because Miss Jobo believes in dating. Okay, shout out to everybody who's out there dating, and you're not just shacking up with people and smashing them. Okay, you're actually enjoying people's company. Okay, you're socializing. You're getting to know folks. If you go out with Doug on Monday and you go out with Paul on Wednesday, Monday Doug should not have anything to say about Paul Wednesday because guess what? You're not in a relationship with Monday Doug.
Hey,
my bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Supreme Super Saiyan wife. We got a caller. Let the caller say what he wants to say, and then you jump in, okay? Hey, introduce yourself.
What up? It's me, Rush. Salute to the panel.
It's Rush, y'all.
Hey, Rush.
Yeah, I want to expound on the man that steps out. The guy that steps out, he usually, there's a lot of inconsistency coming from his significant other, as far as gaining weight and being not pleasant to be around. On the top of that, females are attracted to males that's able to attract other females. I mean, like a female's not gonna engage herself with a male that cannot bag a female. I mean,
but I mean, okay. Well, I didn't make that point before, but I'm just kind of like, I don't think men want women that other men don't want either. Like, it's kind of like saying we want people that we're attracted to. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
The point of phrasing it that way.
The dynamics between a male and a female is totally different when it comes to copulating. When a man smashes multiple women, it's looked at as a good thing. If a female got a high body count, it looks bad on her end. That's just how it works.
Well, that's how we were taught.
Right.
We taught that.
Not concrete.
It looks bad you're talking to people who think it just looks bad, period. So, I mean, you can, I don't necessarily want a man that's out here, screwing everybody. I'm married to him and I don't want that either. You know what I mean? But we understand that in this society, that's praise.
That's not true.
I don't think it's bad for men because
Deal with a male that doesn't attract other females. That's not true.
But you
Come
can
on,
attract
man.
female.
Let's
You
keep
can
it
attract
real.
women,
Know what I
and
mean?
you can attract women and not be a cheater and be a whore. Like there are men out here who are married and they're successful men. They're attractive. You know, they have a lot going on for themselves, and women want them, but they know how to have some sexual discretion. So you know, like I think a
Well,
woman.
let me say this. Let me say this. If a male is valuable enough, a female will deal with a cheater. She's gonna accept it.
Well, it depends, Rush, on what she values
Right.
out of that relationship with that man. Kind of what you're saying. Because I do think that people look at certain things based on like values, ethics, morals, you know, that and how they were taught to look at those things. Because like, you know, if all of us on the panel, right, including you, Rush, you know, we all grew up in different houses. We didn't all learn maybe the same morals, or certain morals were not held to a higher standard than others, and vice versa. So I can kind of see what you're saying with that. Like people value different things in all types of situations. So if she does value money and status and all those things, then yeah, it may be an option for her to either turn a blind eye or just allow it or whatever. So
Yeah, and let's be real. I know that the Black Manosphere likes to put a spin on this. It's not about him just being so
Let me
valuable.
just say this real quick. I don't roll with the Black Manosphere or the Manosphere. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but I that's not. I don't subscribe to that.
Okay. So, but I know that, you know, there's this idea of a man, oh, if he's so valuable, then a woman will deal with it. But it's not even just about him being so valuable. Sometimes it's about there being too much connection. A woman is too invested in the relationship. We're talking about people who've been married, have kids. Sometimes the woman stays at home. If the woman's staying at home, or even if she doesn't stay at home, but he's the main breadwinner, of course, you know, that don't mean she likes it. Doesn't mean she respects him for it. It doesn't even mean that her heart is in it. She's there.
That's why I say prenup.
Has to be there.
I disagree.
If you think that's value, then
when a female is emotionally attached to a male to a certain degree, she will allow him to do certain things. She will allow him to get away with a lot of things.
What do you mean allow? Allow or just stay and put up with it? What do you mean? Because everybody can do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, Rush, why that's not true. And my husband can probably tell you the same thing, right? Because I've had very strong feelings for my husband for a very long time. But there was a time, right, when we were like dating or not dating or whatever. Even though I had the feelings for him, I had absolutely no problem with saying, you know what, the behavior that you're exhibiting is unacceptable, and I'm removing myself from the situation. Even though I had very strong feelings. So I don't think that that's accurate. I think it does fall more along the lines of what Ashley was saying.
He's not the one that you're willing to take the L for.
But no, I think that it happens a lot, Rush. But it happens because women have to have their own self-worth and their own security and stop operating off this scarcity mindset where, oh, I can't get no other man like him, or there's nobody out there for me.
Wait a minute.
So
most females do not operate in a scarcity mindset. They actually operate off a abundance mindset due to the surplus of suckers that will holler at them. I mean,
I don't know what you mean.
So I'm talking about a woman who's in a relationship. There are women who are in relationships right here to this day that have men who are cheating on them, men who cuss them out, men who dog them out, men who don't spend no time with them, men who do all types of stuff.
They like that. They like to be dogged out. I mean,
I think a certain type of woman, like I said, you're talking about a certain type of woman with a certain type of mindset and character, probably a certain type of upbringing. I think a healthy woman wants to be with a man who is faithful, or at least
from the
honest.
female that works in corporate America all the way down to fast food restaurant chains, they all operate the same. If she's vibing with a dude, if she thinks that dude's valuable enough, she's gonna deal with him cheating.
I'm gonna have to go with that mostly. Like there may be a small portion that fall into that category, but it's going to be mostly what Ashley is saying. I think most people end up staying in relationships due to complacency, convenience, like you said, having children together, and
Money.
especially from a woman. And if she's going to be the one 9 times out of 10 that's going to be raising children and things like that, I think that that's a huge motivator for a lot of women to have the father of their children in the home with the with the children. That's a huge motivator. I don't think most women who are getting dogged out want to be dogged out or like to be dogged out.
That's why most men, when they leave the house, they don't realize what they left until they're gone, because they never they don't really look at the time that they spend with the kids in the home as being valuable. Like, and when they leave, they be like, oh, I miss waking up and seeing my kid's face. And I think women value that while they're in a relationship. That's why they're not so quick to leave, to Cannon's point. But men, they don't value those types of things, so they always quicker to leave. And then when they
value that.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I said I disagree with you on that perspective. Men do value on being with their kids.
No, I didn't say they don't value. I say they take for granted those things, and they leave quicker because that's things that they don't really actually really value the most. So when they leave, they don't understand that how much they miss their kid until they not getting it. But women, they dealing with it. Women deal with the kids more than men do.
They're not.
Wait, Rush, hold on. Let him finish. Go ahead.
Women deal with the kids more than men deal with the kids. They nurture the kids more. They're in the mornings with the kids, doing their hair, fixing breakfast. They're doing all those little things for the kids, and the man is not doing all those things like that. So it's not a big thing for them to just up and leave and then when they leave, then they realize like, oh, I miss my kids. I can't wake up to my kids every day. I hear from men all the time. That's be their biggest regret, them not being there with their kid. But women, they value that in the door. They value that even when they're pregnant. They value these things because this is what they was raised to do. They was raised to nurture kids, so they take more pride in that. So they don't leave right away. They stay because of that. And men, they don't take pride in that, and that's just a fact. You know what I'm saying? We're not raised to be doing holding babies and being nurturers. We're just not raised that way.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Rucker. Mr. Rush, you can respond. But I think I had cut off Super Saiyan wife earlier, so I want you to go ahead and jump in too.
All right. Yeah, no, like as far as dudes leaving in relationships like that, I disagree. Most men that's tethered to a female, whether if they have kids with them or married, they usually want to work it out with the female. I mean,
they want to work it out, but they still cheating. Whatever.
And they still leaving.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is what women are attracted to. They tend to deal with men that get multiple women.
Yeah, I think that's a certain type of woman.
Yeah,
that's not a healthy.
I don't think that's all women.
Girl, woman.
So you mean to tell me you dated a guy or you engaged yourself with a guy that can't get other females?
Yes, but just because he can, but that doesn't mean that he has to be a whore out here sleeping with everybody either.
No, okay. I'm asking you though, like, have you engaged yourself with a guy that can't get no females?
That can't get a female? That can't get another woman? No.
Yeah.
Most men can get a woman. Most men can get a woman.
You just proved my point.
No, you're saying something completely.
A female is only attracted to a male that's able to bag other female.
But okay. So, Rush, listen to how you're phrasing this. You're saying, okay, would you expect a woman to want a man that is not attractive? Like, I mean, people like attractive people. That's like me saying, you only want a woman that other men want. Like, what does that mean? Like,
no, that's not true. Men do not want to deal with women that that have access to other men.
Wait a minute, hold on. So you can't say on one hand you want a super bad girl, she's a 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then say you don't want a woman that other men want. That's not true. It does not make any sense.
No, I did not say that. I said that a man do not want to deal with a female that's attractive that have access to other men.
If you're an attractive woman, you have access to other men.
Yeah, what do you mean by having access? Like, what does that mean?
She's technically for the streets. You know what I mean?
So okay, so let's clarify this.
Stop talking down. Yeah.
So you're phrasing this in a way that removes accountability for men. You're saying, women just want men who other women want, as opposed to saying that this is a man who's a whore. Like, most women do not want a man that's out here that just can't control where he puts his penis.
That's not true.
Okay.
Explain to me why there's men out there that have 7 kids and they all these females know about each other.
But it's that most women. That doesn't represent most women.
To that one guy.
I don't think that represents most women, Rush. Most women don't have a baby's father who has 7 different babies. Like I know that that's the stereotype of Black women, but most of us don't have children. First of all,
most men don't even have 7 kids.
Exactly. And then so 40% of Black women in particular are childless. Okay. And then the ones who do have children are not necessarily having children with men who have 7 kids. Like, that's such an extreme. Like, that's what people want you to think of Black women.
Yes, it's a bit extreme, but
yeah, that's an extreme.
You can't front to the fact that there are women out there that have, you know what I mean, that deal with men that have multiple baby mothers.
Yes, but to make a general,
you can't generalize it.
Yeah, to make a general statement to say that women want men who other women. First off, that just don't even make sense. Like, everybody wants somebody attractive. Everybody wants somebody attractive, right? So
how many men can only get one woman though? What you talking?
Right.
I think everybody can get. I think every one person can get at least 100 people that want them. I don't know the number, but I don't know no one that's only one person in the world for them. Like, I think everybody's attracted to a lot of people. Like, even if you don't think they're attractive, it's a lot of other people that think they're attractive. Like, it's that. So that comment to say, like, I think everybody wants someone that's attracted, that other people are attracted to. Well, yeah, other people are attracted to everybody. Everybody's attracted to somebody.
Well, sir, that's not what I said. I said most women only want to deal with men that can bag other women.
Yeah, I think that the way he's saying it, I guess it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you're saying that women want men who are sleeping with other women.
Yeah, basically, he's removing accountability from the man.
It's saying that women want men who are sleeping with other women.
Yeah,
they want the bad boy. Basically.
Right. I guess that's what he's trying to say.
It is what he's saying, but
okay, I agree with that a little bit. I think a lot of women do want the bad boy, but that can go for in a lot of ways. Like, what's a bad boy to these women? Like,
it's in our community. I mean, the martyr for the male archetype that every female is attracted to within our community is Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey Hussle? Are you serious?
Nipsey Hussle.
Something different.
God rest his soul. God rest his soul.
What are we talking about here?
But it's so much.
That's what women want.
You got 3 married ladies on the panel.
So what you're saying is women aren't attracted to the Michael B. Jordans, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just But Rush, I think that's like just indicative of the women that you're around. To be honest, and the women that maybe you attract.
And it got nothing to do with me. I'm just explaining to you on how this.
So in your world,
male and female
work. It got nothing to do with him. What he think?
I mean, it must. It's kind of, people have perceptions that they think is reality. Not everybody wants Nipsey Hussle. Come on now. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like that's one type, right? Like that's one image of a black man that's out there. But what about all the women that fawn over Michael B. Jordan? Why didn't
what
you?
about Corey Hardrick? What about Michael B. Jordan?
Well,
What
why
about
Chestnut?
It just
right. Tay Diggs. Like
where's Tate?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Tom Cruise. Shit, got that white man.
Omari Hardwick.
George Clooney. All y'all movies like that.
Yeah, so that's just the stereotype.
Irvin Mosley.
That black women are thugs. That's a stereotype. We killing that stereotype. That's not true. I think the type of women that a lot of men go for are the women who are after those type of men. If you think that women, that's what black women are checking for, then I would say you need to kind of check your lens and what you're checking for. Because even with more, but I'm not just talking about you. I'm just talking about in general. Because I've heard men say this before.
Within our community, there is a false perception of being alpha is deriving from the streets.
From who?
Yeah, exactly. Like, the thing is, Rush, is that I do agree with you about that, and that's a problem across the board. That there is this twisted idea of what masculinity is.
Yeah.
Right. And it is a problem. And it's a problem because again, it coincides with high incarceration rates and high dropout rates and low literacy rates. That type of idea of what it means to be a man in some communities. So that is a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that needs to be owned from not just women, but from black men who grow up thinking that that's alpha. Like, to me, thug ain't alpha. Like, and I mean, you can say it till you blue in the face, but you're trying to tell women what they think. And I'm not saying that there aren't a lot of women who think the bad guy, the thug, the Nipsey Hussles, the ones street hustling, the ones who carrying guns and doing all this stuff, on the street, whatever, street life. Yeah, there are women who equate that to real masculinity, but there are women who are healthy individuals who understand that that's not masculinity. So I don't know what else to say. And that is keeping it a bean or whatever you say. That is keeping it 100.
Okay. I accept that. At least you're being honest a little bit.
All right, Rush, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Thank you though for calling in.
Thank you, Rush. Thank you for tuning in every week. We appreciate you.
Yo, y'all need to come on my panel sometimes, man.
Yes,
you be doing your panels in the daytime. We be at work.
Hey, I'll come on. Send me the info.
I got you. Yeah, I don't got your Facebook, but I got your wife's Facebook. So I'm a DM her.
Oh, you got my wife's Facebook and you ain't got my.
Here we go.
Wait, what you say? Okay, so you say
I'm just playing. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, because I don't got his Facebook. Like, he's not on the
he's in the group.
He's in the group.
That group setting joint. Like, I can't.
Well, just message Ken and she'll get y'all in touch, and then message me again.
Just slide in my wife's inbox.
Encouraging it.
Y'all can come through on a Sunday?
Yeah, we can come through on a Sunday. Yeah, I can do Sunday.
Yeah. I'm going to hold y'all to that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
What time on Sunday?
What time on Sunday?
I don't know. What's the name of the bagel later on?
Okay, let me know.
I'm going to do all y'all a text here.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I do Robbie's panel. So.
Oh.
We'll figure it out. All right. Thank you, Rush.
All right.
Bye. I know I can't do this Sunday, y'all, but I can't do this Sunday.
See, I knew Ashley was a thug. See,
As soon as he held the phone, she flaked. As soon as the phone hit.
Exactly. Just that quick. Dang.
Just that quick.
I'll do another Sunday. I just can't do this Sunday.
Damn.
I have Sundays on Sunday. All right. Y'all, that was a good one. Rush is interesting.
hey, at least he consistent. At least
he is consistent.
Yeah,
I knew what he was about to say.
At least he consistent.
All right, Mr. Rucker, you've been kind of quiet for a minute. You want to close out on that little conversation? Actually, Mr. Rucker, you can give your 2 cents, and then Darwin, you want to close out, or Raven, one of y'all, because I know either one of y'all didn't get a chance to finish.
Well, you want me to close out the whole show or the situation?
No, you can just share your last thoughts on this
topic.
Yeah. My thoughts are on this. Men have a certain kind of lifestyle, and they want women that will complement that lifestyle. So if that man is a little flirtatious, if that man's a little bit out of there, bad boy, women should stop trying to change that man. Just accept his flaws. That should be the deal. You accept his flaws right then and there. He showed you who he is. What's the problem with what he does? Don't try to change him, think he's a project. That's what's wrong with modern women. They think, well, maybe if I do this to him and do this and do that, maybe he'll appreciate me and change for me. No, you're gonna get your feelings hurt. So it's kind of funny and sad to see that happen. But at the end of the day, men have a certain kind of lifestyle. Figure out what that lifestyle is, and just try to fit in just to keep the peace.
Mm. Okay. Darwin, you want to close us out on the topic, or you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with it. Just everybody know that I agree with him. Just what Miss Jovo always says: manage your expectations. So in a way, if a person shows you who they are, you have a choice to either stay with them or leave. And if they show you that they're a cheater and you stay, then basically you are agreeing to this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's only on you if you stay and deal with. You can't blame this person for being who they are. If they're a cheater, they're a cheater, and it's up to you to leave. You know, if you stay, in a way, you can't just keep nagging because they're cheating. He's going to keep cheating. Probably going to drive and cheat more. So just know who you're dealing with. Or just join them. Just cheat back, because that's what my wife said. If I cheat, she go cheat back. So
I approve this message.
Wow.
Yeah, and I guess that's like the difficulty for some women. Like some women really, and I don't think it's just so-called modern women, whatever that means. I think that women for generations have always thought, man, he's gonna one day stop cheating on me. Like,
yeah, that's what I say. I was like, I don't think that's a modern woman thing. I think that's been around for a long time.
Right. We were taught that from the womb, that you got to be a certain type of woman to, you got to pray and pray.
Leave that man alone. He just being a man.
You got to pray these demons out of him.
Exactly.
Okay?
You got to go
then
pray.
And only then
pray for your marriage.
That husband to that Proverbs 31 woman. Let me tell y'all something. Something. Okay. I need men to be upfront about who they are when they enter into these relationships and these situations. Like, if you know it's going to that level, you need to be honest about your behavior. Darwin, don't do that. You need to be honest about your behavior. And you just need to be upfront. You will be surprised sometimes with the responses that you'll get with honesty. Okay? It's a lot of men out here, they keep thinking, well, if I tell her about this girl, or if I tell her about the kids, or if I tell her about this, then it's just going to cause confusion. No, what you're doing is establishing honesty. Okay? And you probably going to get more from her than what you ever imagined if you're just honest with her.
Yeah. I concur. Be honest about most things.
Be honest
use
about
it as your discretion. Because even I actually just said that a lot of women are starting now to be honest about the things that they possess, because it's turning men away. So you have to use some type of discretion when you being honest about certain things. Like, I don't want a woman telling me like, yeah, I had sex with 30 people. I don't keep lying to me. You only had sex with me or one person or that famous number 3. Just keep lying to me. I'm dead serious. Like, it's some things that women, I think y'all have to lie about in order to, things to go smooth.
Are you TDJ Jr.? Are you TDJ Jr.? Are you telling me, Ms. Jovo, that I need to not tell certain things about myself? I need to decrease
person, so we not time.
Every woman doesn't have like a list of.
Actually, Ms. Jovo, just say 3. Just say 3, because if you say 1, they go think you're lying. So just say 3. I don't care if it was one. Just say 3.
When did honesty become such a bad thing?
You want to hear 3?
Try honesty today. You'll be surprised with the reaction that you get.
Why is it so hard to believe? That's so funny.
Exactly.
I believe you, Ashley. I don't know about Miss Jovo. I don't know about that. What do you call you? That religious church one. I don't know about
therapeutic church lady.
I think you so much into the church because you had a past.
You Jovo low.
I'm pleading the fifth.
You're dumb.
Make sure you like, comment, and share, subscribe so you can stay up to date with what we have going on here in the room. We also have clubhouses, y'all. So y'all got to come check out our clubhouses. Cannons is later this month, every third Monday at 7 p.m. Conversations to push your thinking. And we have our girl Jovo. Hers is every second Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah. She is a drug abuse counselor and licensed therapist, and she'll be on Clubhouse. And you can call in, talk to a licensed therapist, y'all. And then last, certainly not least, we have Real Talk with Raven. She'll be on Clubhouse the last Monday of the month. All right. So we'll try to keep reminding y'all. I think our first one coming up is Jovo. So next Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Y'all got to come on to Clubhouse. Check her out. All right.
Come get this free therapy. The first hour on me. That second hour gonna cost you though. I'm just saying.
Oh no, that's too much.
No, she is well worth it. All right, we're gonna move on to this next comment, y'all, or topic, I should say. Real men eliminate stress. Real men eliminate stress. I'm going to play a video of a guy's like having a podcast, and they had some interesting things to say. And I want to go ahead and play it, and then we can talk about it. All right. So
just had to get to a point where I was like, yo, leave Didi alone. Like, don't say nothing to Didi. Don't ask Didi nothing. Like, how can you, like, I turned it into a game of Didi saying one thing, I'm guaranteeing you it's going to be another thing. Like, Didi might be like, I'm tired, or, you know, I'm stressed, or I don't feel. I never went, oh, man, my girl tripping. See, she tripping. Yeah. I just kept putting my head down and was like, E, what would it take to flip that whole scenario? Like, what would be the things that you'd have to do to get her? Like, why is she stressed, Maul?
Yeah.
I'm just being real. Why is she stressed? Then when I figured out why she was stressed, I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
She's stressed because her mom got cancer and her mom don't have no all right, let me put myself in a financial position where I can take care. She's stressed about the kids going to college and are they going to be able to get a, she's stressed about she got to go to work for real and work.
But that's what I was
go to work and stressed out.
And I'm not saying
Didi want to work. That's crazy.
Yep.
I'm like,
Didi want to work,
wanted to come home and give you 100.
But that's what. But that's exactly. You just literally said. I was going to say my next thing was to eliminate the stress.
Absolutely.
If you just look at us, look at our wives, like literally, bro, like they live a life of I mean, not normal stresses, but not
a lady of leisure.
I didn't want to say it.
Hey, but I love it.
But even still,
and listen, if that's what they want to do,
if
you want to go to work and work 80 hours, I'm cool as long as it charge you up, you feeling good. I'm telling you, as some of y'all, your wife going to work and her boss, she can't stand her boss. They down on her, they dogging her, they got her answering emails at all kind of night. They do.
all right, so that was a little refreshing because we always hear about, you know, women being men's piece, and it's always about women submitting and the role of the women, and we rarely hear men talking about what they should do in detail, not just protect and provide, but actually going into detail about their role in their marriage. So I found that to be refreshing. All right, so I want to hear what y'all got to say. But I got We Unlock Nation with us, so he's going to join us as well. Who likes to chime in first?
Me.
Okay, go ahead.
Man, that type of situation, making a man do more than protect and provide, and she's still stressed out, that's too much pressure on any spouse. We can't be responsible for every single thing that's causing you stress. We can try not to give you more stress because that's what we're supposed to do. But if we doing our jobs and now you got stress because a job, we would probably just tell you, okay, quit or do something else. But sometimes you women just want to just belch out like your feelings. Like, we can't fix it. You got to give us something to fix. If we can't fix it, like, what's the point of me being responsible for you being stressed out? That's not fair. Like, I got to protect, provide, and be a therapist. Like, I'm not
But
equipped for
that's not what he said, though. I think what he's saying, a part of protecting and providing would eliminate some of this stress, like a woman having to, pay for bills and think about this, think about that. Like, obviously, we're gonna be stressed. Like, there are things that we have to do, but I think what he's saying, just how women have to be a man's piece, I think that he's saying, you know what, I kind of want to make sure my wife is good too. That she doesn't have to worry about certain things. That's like provision. So it's easy to say, oh, provide, but what does that look like?
That's killing Will Smith. That's what Will Smith is going through right now. We all know he's a provider. We know he's going through all this and accepts a lot of stuff from his soon-to-be ex-wife, hopefully. She's still not happy. That's not fair. A man can only do so much. That's all.
So I think a lot of men get it messed up, or they don't think when you say, when our job is to protect our wives, I think men only think about the physical part of protecting them from harm and danger from another man that's trying to attack them. When you say protect, you want to protect your wife physically, emotionally, and mentally. So if you know she's having a bad day at work, won't you do some things to eliminate the stress at home so she can come home to a peaceful home and can relax? If you know she's got these friends that's not good for her, or that's steady trying to get her to do things, won't you try to, instead of telling her you can't hang out with these people, won't you plan more events for you all to do? And she won't have time to hang out with these people. See, it's a lot of things that men do things to start confrontations and start arguments instead of just thinking. Like, I'm not going to tell my wife don't hang out with her or this. I'm just going to plan some more better things for me and my wife to do, and I'm pretty sure she's going to choose to hang out with me instead of her friends. Like, it's things like that you could just ease into that eliminates some stress for your wife. But and you can protect and provide as well. And it's not just provide financially, it's also provide mentally, emotionally, and physically. If you know your wife is lacking in certain areas, how about you instill some type of knowledge in that area into her, what makes that motivates her and that gives her that confidence and stuff like that. So it's a lot of things that men just have a simple understanding on, and they just don't want to go into that second level of thinking. I protect my wife. When has an intruder ever came into your house and tried to get your wife? It's 99% of the men have never dealt with that. So all these men that keep talking about all that, I guess you're not needed in the house. I guess your protection is not ever needed. So now how else can you protect your wife? Protect her emotionally, mentally, and physically, just like what the guys were saying. She has a bad day at work. She has a boss that's all in her ass. Why would you be doing the same thing at home that she's getting at work? Like, come on now, we got to be more thoughtful, and maybe the women will be more thoughtful, and maybe they won't be as loud and as aggressive as you all claim that they are. Maybe that's the reason they're loud and aggressive, because y'all keep doing dumb shit to make them loud and aggressive. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like when men talk about women being their piece. Like, why is it that women have to be responsible for your mental well-being and creating a nice space for your home, but you guys don't care about our mental health? Like, if you have a woman that you love, this is your wife, the mother of your children, like, wouldn't you want to be concerned about her mental health, her peace of mind? Not that you can control everything. Nobody's saying that, right? Nobody is saying that. We all know that you can't control everything. You can't control anybody's happiness. but you can do things in the relationship, in your house, that will contribute to that person being happy. Because we all want to be happy in a marriage. Like, it's not going to always be happy, but who wants to sign up for a life with somebody that they're going to be miserable with?
Yeah, the thing is, Ashley, is, and Mr. Rucker, to your question, the reality is that we know in this day and age, women are not only working, but they're also still doing the bulk of the domestic responsibilities, which can lead to a lot of stress. And what I heard from those men was them saying, let's be better partners, and let's think of the ways that we can alleviate and take on responsibility for some of those things that can balance it out, because there is an imbalance. It's been well documented that the question you asked earlier, like, how is it a patriarchy, whatever, that is one of the ways that it still remains to be one, that the way men and women are socialized is that the expectation is that women not only work, but then they still end up falling into a process where they're the primary ones of rearing the children and doing a lot of those responsibilities, and also doing most of the kin keeping, which means remembering people's birthdays and putting events together and doing stuff like that. They end up doing the bulk of the emotional labor in relationships, because unfortunately, in a lot of ways, the way we socialize men is to not even be in tune with their own emotions. So they really put a lot of that responsibility on women. It has also been documented that men are more likely to be more dependent on their woman for that emotional, right? For that emotional stability than women are on men, because women, again, are allowed to have more emotional relationships with more people, like their friends, and those vulnerabilities and things like that men are not allowed. So what happens is that they end up getting in a relationship and they end up dumping the bulk of that emotional labor on the woman unintentionally. So what I heard from them was saying, like, let's look more so, if we see our wife, she all frazzled and stressed out and got all this stuff going on, let's figure out what part we can play in making that load a little bit easier. And to your point, I do think people in relationships, we should be doing that for each other, right? I think that is what should be happening. But again, when you think about the fact that the reality is women have first shift at work, and they also have something called second shift, which means a whole nother job when they get home. That is a reality. So you can alleviate some of that by taking on some of the responsibility.
Absolutely. And Mr. Rucker, to your point too, I took a whole, I'm a person who is used to working 40 hours since my daughter got older. And to meet, because the other conversation is women don't want to meet us, they don't want to compromise with us, but they'll compromise with their boss man or compromise with other men, but they won't compromise with the husband.
Yeah.
I took a whole weekday off of work just so I can tell my husband and show my husband that, okay, I hear what you're saying. We both work. So I'm going to not work on Monday so I can do all of the things that I need time and space to do as it pertains to our child, household, and etc. And in return, he's now saying, okay, I need to help with some things as well. I've said this on this show so many times that marriage is an evolution. It is always evolving and changing. And I'm telling you all, just as sure as I'm sitting here tonight, where year one, where it's just y'all and everybody's young, ain't nobody sick, ain't nobody got nothing going on, it's just you guys. But then, like, now me and my husband have literally in probably the last 10 years went through the transition of our parents are now getting older. My maternal grandmother, I knew that my husband was a man of integrity and honor when I saw the relationship that he built with my maternal grandmother right up until she passed away. When I couldn't go to the retirement home, when she needed, a meal, when her clothes needed to be picked up, when she needed to be taken places, he was like, I'm either going to do this so that you can take care of that, or I'm going to take care of that because I see how much it's on your back and I want to help you out with that. Like marriage is like a dance. Okay. Two people dancing, you got to compliment each other. You know, that's what it is. And I'm telling everybody who's young and married, keep on living. Because this evolution is coming. Kids gonna get older. They're gonna need more, or they're gonna need less. So they'll need more from one parent and less from another parent. Parents are gonna be aging, grandparents are gonna be aging. And these things are gonna happen. And it's and that whole gender role, you supposed to do this and I'm supposed to do that. You're not really thinking about that when you're watching somebody aging in a retirement home and you're trying to work 40 hours a week too. You know what I'm saying? You're really thinking about what is going to be the best thing for my husband, my wife at this time. How can I help reduce the load? So I don't think women are saying we want y'all to be us. We just want you to help and have a willing spirit to help and not be willful, meaning that you're sitting on your hands and you can help, but you just decide not to because of these old thinking patterns and beliefs.
I'm saying, I wish my wife believed in having me having more than one wife, because I have about 8 wives.
Oh Lord.
I'm trying to tell you, because a lot of women are settling. You know, I'm trying to tell y'all. I be talking to these women, they settling. So if I can have 8 wives, I have all y'all wives, because I cook, I clean, I take out garbage. I take care of the kids. I take them to school. I take them to doctor visits, like that.
Look at your wife's face right now. Look at your wife's face.
Yeah, she don't want me to get another wife, but it's okay. I'm happy with her. But if I could get another wife, I have about 8 of them. I'm trying to tell you.
Really?
8 wives sounds like mayhem. Taking 8 different family kids to school, and you got to take care of them. No.
I didn't say I was gonna have kids with all of my wives.
Oh, one gonna be the mama,
it
one
is
gonna
so
be
funny.
the girlfriend, and one gonna be the what?
It is so funny. He always trying to be practical, right? With these extra imaginary wives. Something about just need to share some of the responsibilities in the house. Like, bro, if you don't get out of here.
I'm trying to eliminate stress.
Yes.
You adding stress.
That's
We unlock. What do you think?
What do I think? Well, I do say that love is not being practiced anymore. Love is not being expressed in, I would say, a few of these particular spaces. The affection for one another is not practiced yet. The man is supposedly the high caliber of the relationship, when really it's God. I say this all the time. For you to have, for a woman to have all those responsibilities, cooking, the cleaning, the working, first, second, and third, because there is a third shift. The third shift is hard. Believe me, I know. I got to go in the third shift in about a couple hours. And for her to be so stressed out for dealing with her boss, etc., even people who mess with her on occasion, and she's overloaded with that stuff. It's just overloading her brain. And all she asks when she comes home, all she expects is for the man, the male that is with her at that particular time. The first thing, the indication, is to listen. Is to listen to her spew out all that stress. Just let her just spew it out. And the one thing that you can do as a man is to comfort her. Comfort her in every way possible. Is there anything I can do for you? Is there something that you need to be, something that needs to be cooked, something needs to be taken care of? Can I do something for you? Can I rub your feet? Can I rub your back? Can I sing you a song? What can I do to relieve stress? It's not just for the woman's job to do. It's also for the man's job. We're partners in this relationship. We're both partners. I didn't say we were equals. I said we were partners. Therein lies the balance within the two individuals, the man and the woman. They're so delicate. It is so delicate for you as a person, as a man, to make sure that a woman is being taken care of like a flower. You dig up in the ground and you dig up the roots of the plant, throw them out, and you put new seeds in there. You put new things in her mind that says everything is going to be okay. And then you shower her. You shower her with gifts. You shower her with roses. You shower her with everything possible that you can. Because like I said, in this world, in this day and age, it is being taught less about love, even making love to your partner. And I'm not talking about the physical. I'm talking about it takes it. I forgot my train of thought of that one. In other words, when you make love to your partner, why not take her out into the balcony? Let's just say if you live in an apartment building like I do, you take her out into the balcony, and then you hold her for the amount of time that moon is shining above the two of you. And you just holding her right there. And intimacy and all that stress, all that emotion goes away. And also you can talk to your partner while you're in bed with each other, sitting side by side, and say that everything is going to be okay. And then she goes to work. Guess what? She goes to work the next day and it's like, I'm okay. Everything, I know what I got at home. I know what I got at home, honey child. I know what I got. I got not only a partner, not only a husband, I got a friend in my husband. I got a friend in him. I have a friend, and this is what's being lost in these particular spaces. Now, I hear what they're saying, but let it be more to it than that. That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
Okay. I just think we have to just love on each other. I don't even think as a wife, like you should go home and necessarily let out everything onto your husband all the time, right? Like you have
did I say anything wrong?
No. I didn't say you said anything wrong. I'm just adding on to what you said. And then I think you have to we all just have a role, right? Like sometimes your husband might need you to listen. Sometimes you need your husband to listen, right? And you just have to kind of gauge and be available, and be selfless sometimes and thoughtful. Like it shouldn't be this hard, right? Like it shouldn't be this hard just to love the person that you choose to be with.
Yep.
Like when I think of just by this topic, this conversation, it's having me think about my mother, right? And when I was a kid, and I was raised in the home with my mother, just me and her. And I'm just thinking about a normal day for her, right? Just a regular average day that she didn't complain about or anything, just to happen on a daily basis. So she gets up, she takes me to school, right? On the bus, right? Takes me to school. Then she goes to work. On the bus. She's late to work. Her boss, why you late? I have to take my son to school. Oh, I don't care who this, who that. She gets the little rundown or whatever. Boom. While she's at work, my mother was a waitress for most of her life. She's dealing with these nagging customers, right? Disrespectful sometimes. Then in the midst of her work, she gets a phone call. From who? My school. Oh, your son's been acting up and this and that. You got to come to the school tomorrow or he can't come back. It's a parent conference, right? So now she has to take off work, miss money, this and that, deal with these teachers, this and that. Why? Because my father's not going to come up there. Not because he's not a good father, but because he thinks that's my mother's job, right? To handle the school work and all this other stuff. So she has to take off work the next day. But let's go back to the same day. She's at work. Now she gets off work. Has to come get me from school on the bus, right? On the bus, while she's on the bus, she has to worry about Ray Ray's and Pookie's hollering at her that she don't want talking to her. She's already been stressed out, but she can't be as blunt as she wants to because guess what? The danger of a dude trying to fight her and this and that, right? So she has to bite her tongue and be a shell of herself and just try to ignore it the best way she can. So that's added stress, right? So she picks me up, we're on the bus, now we're going home. Now guess what she has to do? She has to talk to me about what happened in school today, right? Boom. Then she has to make sure I eat, this and that, homework is done, all by herself. Make sure I get in bed or whatever. If I didn't go outside, and now she's worried about me coming in at home. It's about 11:30 right now because I used to stay out late, break curfew all the time, right? So I get home, now she got to talk to me about that, then I go to sleep. Then she has to do this all over again. So basically what I'm trying to say is women have all types of stresses that we don't even think about on a daily because we tend to forget about all the other things that we're supposed to do because we're so much of a man and we don't have to deal with these parent conferences, these phone calls from teachers, and all these other things that women deal with on a daily basis. Of course, we don't have to deal with the Keishas and whatever Tawandas trying to holler at us every day and honking their horns. Hey, babe, what? We don't have to deal with that. We don't have to deal with these aggressive women that might knock us out if we turn them down the wrong way. So it's a lot of stresses, and that's just one example I'm just giving when I think about this because I have a mother that did it by herself, and I know she went through a lot. And I didn't know that at the time when it was going on, but when I grew up and now I'm dealing with kids, or I'm going through the same thing. I have to understand, like, my mother dealt with a lot, and then even when she had these guys, in and out of life, that it wasn't right. She had to deal with them. And they wasn't making things better. They wasn't father figures for me. They wasn't dealing with the things that she was dealing with. So it's a lot of things that these women have to go through that we don't think is stressing them out, but it's stressing them out, and the only reason we don't think that is because we're not dealing with it. So you can only experience something like emotionally if you dealt with it. You can't never tell nobody like, oh, this just nothing. It's not stressed out. You can't sit up there and just say that if you have never dealt with it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever cried in front of your wife?
Yeah.
I mean, cried real tears, like bawled out, just out of control, crying.
Yeah. Yep.
That makes you a man.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a human. Like
I'm saying, and the emotions. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like I've said it before on the show. Like men and women feel, and it is okay for you to be vulnerable to those feelings. Like I need y'all to understand that because a lot of y'all, it ain't got nothing to do with masculinity and femininity as to why you're not getting what you need to get out of relationships. Some of you all are self-medicating. I got a clubhouse coming up about that. You're self-medicating. You're using the PORN, like Raven was saying earlier. You are doing everything. Thank you, Darwin. You're doing everything except for allowing yourself to feel. And you need to allow yourself to feel. Like emotions are like the ADT system for our body and our mind. They let us know when something is going on. And if you are constantly numbing out how you feel, okay, you're not really self-aware. But I don't want to give all my clubhouse away. I don't want to give it all away.
Yeah, I was about to say some of us don't have time to feel.
You do have time to feel. You must make time to feel. You have the time. You just got to make the time.
Depending on our responsibilities, we may not have that much time.
You have the time.
Yeah, I saw this guy who's running a marathon. He was talking about how he became so overwhelmed that he made sure he scheduled like 30-40 minutes of cry time during his run where he just run and cry.
Absolutely.
He said it's just
gotta make the time. We gotta stop. If you got time to go to happy hour, if you got time to have that cigar, if you have the time to click OK on the clickbait of the PORN, then you got time to allow yourself to experience an emotion. That's it. That's all of it. You just got to make the time.
Yeah. No, the thing is, that's why, like, it's like you asked that question, we on Like Nation, but I didn't. Well, I guess I knew to a certain extent that that's kind of a social thing where like men can't cry and da. But what was weird to me was that I didn't realize that so many just assumed or felt like if they did express human emotion, that women are just gonna be like, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" And I was like, That is so abnormal to me. Like that has never crossed my mind to see someone experiencing a human moment, especially something that I would assume would be dramatic enough for you to feel that much pain or sadness or frustration or whatever is going on, and for my response to be like, "Ugh, what's wrong with you?"
And,
like
and the thing is, when I cried in front of my wife, I did feel weak. I felt weak, and only reason what didn't make me feel weak anymore is her response to me crying. Now, if she would have done what she said, like, "Ugh, what's going on?" then I probably would have confirmed my thoughts, my feelings. But because she just did what she did, she listened. She just basically sat there and just hugged me or whatever the case was. She made me know that it was okay. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, she's the only woman I've cried in front of, her and my mother. So of course I don't know every man don't know what's expected of them until they're in certain situations and until they see the reaction of others, right? Like we won't know what's right or wrong until we are hit with the consequences of things, right? Like we can do a lot of stuff, and as long as everything turns out good, we go, whether it was right or wrong, we go feel like, hey, I was right. Ain't nothing happened. Everything cool on my end. But when you see the response of others, that should let you know morally, like, I shouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you guys just have to be conscious of people around you and what they're going through, and you should dictate some of your behavior based on how others feel when you do these things. And I think a lot of men don't really do that when their wives or their significant other comes home and they want to throw on excess baggage to them on top of what they don't even know what they went through that day. Like you don't like a lot of men that don't even ask their wife, like, how was your day? Like I don't ask my wife that neither, but we talk throughout the day. So, I pretty much be knowing what's going on, you know what I'm saying? But it's always good to check in and make sure she's in a good space, you know what I'm saying? And if she's not had that conversation with her, and then I think it's your responsibility and duty to get her in a good space, especially if this the one you want to be with. Why would you want to be with in this space? Like everything that is benefiting you. All this is benefiting you to have a woman in a good space.
If she can allow you to fix it.
Benefit you. And men don't understand a lot of things that I be saying. It's going to benefit you at the end. Like, yeah, dude, help her out at home. Help out with the kids. I promise you, it's going to benefit you.
I'll do you one better. Call her without reasoning. Just call her and ask her, how are you doing? Everything okay? Just do that.
One second, we on Lock Nation. Mr. Hill, your background is very noisy. You have a noisy house over there. I don't know what's going on, but you may want to tell your people to keep it down.
That is hilarious.
Hey, fellas, sometimes you just gotta ignore stuff too. Some things you just act like they ain't even say it. Just be like, whatever, And
hey, I've been married for 12 years. I understand where you're coming from, my dude.
Like this, her family. I got in-laws here. It's her responsibility.
Go ahead, hold up that drink one more again, man.
They done made me bring the bottle out.
All right, y'all. I want to invite some people on screen. If you want to chime in on this topic, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the live stream in the comment section again. Go ahead, Rion Lock.
I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to go ahead and dip on out because this is a lovely panel with lovely conversation. And I was going to say at the very end, I was one of those ones who had crossed the line when it came to my wife. About some odd years ago, I was conflicted, and due to my lack of discipline, I can only go by myself because my wife, she's not here to testify. She doesn't even get on camera. She don't do all this internet stuff. The lack of discipline for me, I felt that I wasn't getting enough intimacy, and I did whatever I could before to see if I could change the situation, but nothing was working. And so that threshold I ended up crossing. She found out. She was not happy. As a matter of fact, she was very upset. But I told her the reason. I told her the reasons why. I've tried everything, but we've luckily the pandemic hit because she was on her way out. We worked it out. I received counseling on my own, and to this day we are still here and we are still working it out. Now, listen. If you are a cheating person, and it takes time for that to seep out of your system, you're gonna have to have plenty of help. Other than you can't do it on your own. You have to have significant help from counselors, church members, pastors, whoever, mother, father, whoever you can talk to, because if you don't get the type of help that you need, you're going to end up doing it again. Or you're going to end up thinking it in your mind. Trust me, believe me. It's like worms. Once you get that first worm off you, and if you end up doing it again, you're going to have multiple worms on you. It's stressful. It hurts. I'm still conflicted. I'm still stressed out. But the only thing that can help me at this point is my wife. She's been a supportive figure in my life. But at the end, I have to deal with me. Fellas, be careful. Talk to your wives, your girlfriends. Let them know what's on your mind. They will listen to you. They may not always agree. They may not always, but still, I'd rather have my wife look at me crazy than to have them take everything away from me, which would be my fault because I did something that was wrong. And with that,
right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your testimony.
That's real big of you to admit to that, and that's real big of you.
No problem.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So we will accept some more people on screen. Rob B, we see you out there. Whoever wants to come on, there are some people, y'all be in the comments every week, but y'all don't ever cam up. Y'all got to cam up.
Rob, I want to tell Rob I'm coming one Sunday. I am on time.
I'll be there every Sunday in spirit. I'll be here.
Oh, y'all trying to flake on Rush? See?
Hey, I'm coming to Rush show too. I'm just gonna start just
Rush in the daytime. I'm gonna fuck with Rush this week.
Mr. I wanted to ask Mr. Rucker, does he understand like where we're coming from? Like I don't because I think sometimes when we have this conversation, people think extremes.
Yeah.
And I just want us to, do you understand like the concept of like help, but not putting all the total responsibility on eliminating the stress on her or him? It's like a help thing.
I kind of understand it, but can we actually acknowledge that sometimes when your spouse is stressed out, they don't want anything fixed? Men naturally want to fix things, but the spouse just wants you to listen. That's kind of painful to do when you naturally just want to fix it. You hear a problem, you want to fix it, but they don't want you to. So what is a man supposed to do if he can't fix it?
Listen.
My husband will tell you right now, I be wanting to fix. If I'm talking about something, I'm telling you to fix it. I don't know about all this. I just want to talk about something.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, listen. Like, you just need to listen. Like, I literally, active listening is a life skill. And there is no, sometimes there won't be a resolution. Sometimes you just need to listen. Sometimes you just need to listen. And sometimes when you listen, that light bulb eventually goes off for them. But if it don't, right then and there, on that day that they come in and they say they stressed out, like if there's no resolution right now, it's okay. That doesn't mean it's never going to be a resolution.
You know, I was having the darndest time trying to figure out how to fix everything like that my wife was stressed out about. And I came to realize that I can almost fix everything, and except for these kids, right? You know, and it's we have a child, you know what I'm saying, and he just is doing all types of crazy things. And you know, me as a father, I understood what he was doing because I've done it when I was younger and growing up in these streets and doing certain things. And how my wife was handling it, you know, she probably still not handling it well, you know, but she used to cry at night sometimes, and and there was nothing I could do. You know, I couldn't do nothing at all. It was no words that can fix the problem. It was no actions for me to fix the problem, but I knew I could make her feel better. And sometimes that's all you need to do. Just make them feel better. You can't fix everything, but in some moments you can take some of that stress away. Sometimes I just used to hold her sometimes, and she used to just cry, and until she went to sleep. But when I used to hold her and I used to put my arm around her, I could feel her take that that deep breath, like she felt like, and you can feel like a lot of tension was just really like, because she knew I had her back. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we don't need to be arguing all the time with our woman. We don't need to be combative all the time. Sometimes just sit there, even if they snapping out. And I had to learn this hard way. My wife told me I never get a chance to just spaz out and curse you out or talk crazy because you always, you know, over talking me or getting more aggressive than me, and I just can't, you know. And she just shut down. So now I realize, like, I have to let her spaz out sometimes. If I want to hear the thing, just let the woman spaz out, because we spaz out all the time. And they not gonna come and whoop our ass, right? So just let them spaz out. Say whatever they're gonna say, you know, and I guarantee you, she's gonna relieve some stress, and maybe she'll feel guilty and come give you the best head ever, you know.
Lord,
if it wasn't for the comment,
everything I tell y'all is for a benefit. I told y'all. So when I start telling y'all stuff, I'm gonna tell y'all the benefit behind it, so y'all can know I'm not on board. Just let them spaz out. The women
now you stressed out because she spazzed out on you. It's like, well, what did you do? You trying to fix it, and she's like, okay, let me just curse you out for a minute. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't know. This is my job to be cussed out. Like, I go to work.
I got tough skin, so I can take a cussing out.
But what he's talking about is something very specific. What I'm saying, I'm not saying, I don't think couples should just be running around cursing each other out, right? No. That's not what I'm saying. No. But what I'm saying is that you can't have moments and you can't have certain things going on where things can get overwhelming. And I think each person should be allowed space to be out of character every now and again, or to be upset. You know, like it shouldn't always be like, oh, you upset. It's just like, no, sometimes you just want to scream. You just want to scream, like occasionally, you know, and what I'm saying is you should give both each other space, right, to express sometimes. And again, that don't mean you just be cursing each other out and talking crazy all the time and doing all of that. But I'm just saying we're human beings. So this like expectation that people are always going to handle everything the right way and always going to say the right thing and take it this way and do it that way. It's just unrealistic. And that in and of itself is a lot of pressure to put on people. Like, you know, sometimes that's how, like, you know, how people have road rage and stuff. Like sometimes just be mad. You just like, oh, like they have the place where you can go and like break plates, like, and do stuff.
Yes.
Sometimes you just need to get something out, especially if your spouse is, you know,
I say this all the time.
That's a good idea. Just don't do it on a spouse. That's all I'm saying. Like, scream in the car, but like, I'm your spouse. I'm supposed to be your everything. You cussing me
out. You the everything that did it. I done told you 11 times about this same thing.
Hey, this is why I like therapy. Like, okay, you need to go to therapy because I can't fix it. And you just cussing me out. Like, I'm doing something wrong unintentionally. So we need to fix it.
As many times as my wife to cuss me out, I still knew I was still her everything afterwards. So, you know, like she said, you have to give people time to be flawed, space to be like. She doesn't talk to me crazy all the time, but I know if she gets pissed off, even if I get pissed off, I done said some wild things to my wife that I wasn't proud of, and I was able to say it. But as soon as she used to say stuff, I used to be like, "Who you talking to?" You know what I'm saying? Like, and then she like, "Damn," like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but now I came to a point where I guess gotta let her snap out because I get a chance. She lets me snap out. So I have to let her snap out. And it's like a stress reliever. And, you know, like I said, you get good head at the end.
All right, but we do encourage healthy communication. Right?
Absolutely. Assertive communication. Okay, like really honestly assertive communication. Like there is a book, I think it's called the
Art of War.
The Common Roadblocks to Communication. Really good book. Everybody need to Google it, buy it. It's really good. Interrupting, lecturing, name calling, all of these different barriers. These are common barriers that people use in conversations that are habitual, what I call habitual violations for conversation. And so when you start to recognize how you communicate and correct that, it does make the situation a little bit better, you know. But the other part of this too, Ashley, is we got to stop telling people how they should feel about certain things. Like you can't just tell somebody, well, you shouldn't be stressed out about that. I can't tell my husband he should not stress out about something. Those are his feelings. He's allowed to feel what he feels. And sometimes that's why I said listening is so important, because sometimes you literally just need to sit there and listen. A lot of people don't know who they even sleeping besides because you don't even listen to what's coming out of their mouth. You're consistently trying to listen so you can develop a response and tell them what they need to do differently. When really, honestly, most of the time, if you just sit there and listen, that's when you learning your spouse. You learning the situation.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
all right. I like the idea of being, you know, like friends with your spouse.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, like just having a good relationship. Like I've seen some couples that seem to have just a good, not just a good marriage, but like a good friendship. You know, they can enjoy each other, talk to each other. You know, and
we have all snapped out on our friends before, had arguments with our friends before. And so I don't understand why a lot of people don't give their spouse the same grace that they give their mothers, their friends, their supervisors. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't about to, your supervisor piss you off every day, but you ain't about to go and beat his ass enough. But your wife say one bad thing and you want to, you know what I'm saying? You ready to end it all. Like, what? And I know the person that's closer to you always get the, is like your punching bag, but we got to learn how to control that and become a little bit more tender with our significant other. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay. Like, people are emotional. Like, people do things and say things that they really don't mean. And you have to know that. Like, you can't just be saying, like, you have to actually know that people say things all the time that they don't mean. You know what I'm saying? But until you understand that, then you just go be fight all the goddamn time with your significant other, thinking it, hanging on to every word they say, and just making life a lot harder for you, you know. So,
but I do agree with what Darwin said. He put y'all up on some game, man. If you just do this extra stuff, you get extra prizes. Okay, you bring sides of us out that you never thought existed. And I would just say that. I'm telling you.
All right, y'all. Thank you, Mr. Rucker, so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right, we're gonna come over to your show. When do you air, Mr. Rucker?
My first live event will be August 28th, Sunday at 6.
August 28th, Sunday at 6. All right, thank you. In the comments, go ahead and tag your show, okay? So,
Mr. Rucker, are your t-shirts still available? Because you know I like to support.
Yes, I got the no marriage shirts. It's on my channel, youtube.com/Mr. Rucker. Click on the spring logo, you'll see it.
You said no marriage?
Yeah, no prenup, no marriage.
Oh, okay.
Lord,
okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Rucker.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. We got Black Titan. He's gonna join us. Hey, Black Titan. How are you?
Hello, hello.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, we can hear you.
Yep, we can hear you.
Oh yeah. Hey, how's it going?
We're all right. You wanted to chime in on this topic?
Well, real men eliminate stress. Yeah, I believe that.
Okay.
You know, from what I had said in my comment section, you know, if you believe yourself to be the leader of the household and whatever else, then you have no choice but to look at the mental state of your wife, your kids, whomever else stays with you. You know, it's pretty selfish to just think that you're going to just do whatever it is you want to do. And over the months and years and however long that, you know, that your spouse or your kids are not going to have an adverse effect on their health.
I agree. I mean, I think that's a big part of being a leader, you know, in your home. I think as women, we have to care for the children and we have to care for our husbands too. Like, you know, his mental state, like what can we do at home, you know, to alleviate some stress. But I think that, you know, as the leader of the house, as the man in the house, you know, you would think that a man will have some concern about his wife, you know, because she's the one taking care of you and your kids. So it's like, how can you not care? Like, so yeah, I agree with that.
Exactly.
Darn, you want to add to that? You're the other man on the show.
Yeah. When I was in the military, we had this dude commit suicide. His wife broke up with him while we was in basic training, and he committed suicide. He jumped off like the 4th floor, something like that, killed himself. And so after that, we started paying more attention to each other. And when people got letters and stuff like that, and they was said about things that were going on at home, we made sure we was like, you know, let's make sure we console this dude. Let's make sure we, you know what I'm saying, prep him up, talk to him, make sure he doesn't, so it won't be another episode, another suicide, stuff like that. And that's just part of like just noticing your atmosphere and making sure that your atmosphere is peaceful and you don't have nothing to worry about, right? So it's the same thing with your wife. If your wife is just going through all these stresses, one day she might snap. And just like a lot of these guys have been snapping as of late and just offing their whole family, their wife and kids and baby mamas and stuff like that, because they weren't in a good mental space, because the stresses that they was having in life, whether it was due to can't get in their way, whatever the stress was, they obviously couldn't handle it, right? So if you have the power to relieve stress from your wife or your significant other, by all means, you should do it, because it's only going to benefit you. It's going to make your surroundings a lot peaceful. It's going to put you in a better space because they're in a better space, and they're going to put you in a better space, right? Energy feeds off energy, right? You know what I'm saying? So you don't want her having this negative energy for months. You know what I'm saying? And you feeling it, the whole house feeling it. Mommy's not the same. Mommy's in a depressive mode, and daddy ain't doing nothing about it. Now daddy walking around mad because mommy's ain't pleasing him, or whatever the case may be. As the man, as the leader, fix it. You know what I'm saying? Just fix it. We have so much power than what we act like we don't have. You know what I'm saying? Like we act like we are help. A lot of men act like they are helpless, and that women just are just these people that's just come around stepping on necks and just doing whatever they want to do. When we have just by nature, we have that the voice, the assertiveness, the aggressiveness to just shut a lot of stuff down. You know what I mean? Like, and we don't do it for whatever reason. I just think it's lack of confidence and self-esteem. But we just have to find a way. And the men that do have it just need to talk to the men that don't have it. Just be honest with these other men that's lacking this. You know, I know it's broke code, and you're not supposed to be telling men that they soft and telling men that they wrong and stuff like that. But F all that. You know what I'm saying? If it's to help the men, and it's to help the men's family, and it's help the community, I think we got to break this bro code stuff. You know what I'm saying? And just try to find solutions to these problems by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know, idolized Malcolm X. Whatever he did by any means necessary, he did it. So if you gotta ruffle some feathers with your friends in order for them to see that they wrong, then just do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, they'll thank you for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got friends that I disagree with all the time about a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to relationships. But they always tell me at the end of the day, like, man, Bishop, I respect you for that. You know, so you a good dude. You know what I'm saying? And they always ask me how you and the wife doing. Man, I'm proud of you, man. You like a friend is gonna respect honesty and they gonna respect what's right. Even if they don't like it, they still gonna respect it. You know what I'm saying? So I think we gotta just be honest with each other.
Okay. All right, y'all. Good stuff. I'm gonna let that close us out on this conversation. Black Titan, did you want to add something before we moved on?
No, I agree. Well, partially, I agree with Darwin on the calling people out. Calling your other guy friends out. The only issue is a lot of times some of these men, they're too far gone, or if they're older than you, they don't want to listen to you. But if you show above and beyond that, you're doing what you have to do, like maybe you're outpacing them in, finances, maybe, you're getting everything that you want. You tell them, you just sort of reinforce what it is that you're doing that, they're not doing, that they got to get, on top of, for whatever it might be, whether it's marriage, relationships, finances, just general mental, health state. And in time, they should have no choice but to look at you and say, hey, you're getting it. You're doing what you have to do. It's time for me to step up.
Yeah.
If it takes, if at that point, they're still just whining and crying, then at that point, I'm just like, they're too far gone. Like, it's no, at some point, maybe they'll figure it out, when they're in their 60s and 70s and, all these talking points that they talk about online.
Yeah, and I wish we had more married people. Like I've actually tried to get some older married people on the show. I know all y'all married, but
they don't know how to work the internet.
Married people who can, I know, right? They're very they shy away from the internet. They do, and being on camera. But I think that people need to see that certain things work, certain mindsets work. It's not you being a doormat as a woman. It's not you being a simp as a man. It's like, this is what you need to do to have a healthy relationship. Like, we need to see more of those examples, and then maybe some people will listen. I don't know. But I think some people in our communities are just very jaded when it comes to relationships, and people just have given up. It seems like it anyway. Some people, a lot of people. But thank you, Black Titan. I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no problem.
All right, you gotta come join us again. All right.
All right, I got you.
Thank you, and thanks for watching. We appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I like what he was saying about maybe somebody will eventually people see, but they'll only believe if they can kind of see the evidence of it. But it's just people are just so jaded about relationships, it seems. Like, even when you say, oh yeah, they have a good marriage, people are like, no, they got some stuff that you don't know about. It's like, okay, everybody has stuff we don't know about. But my thing is like, why is that the response to hearing that somebody has a good marriage? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why do we act like that's so hard to obtain?
I think people do make it hard. I think people make it harder than what it has to be. I think relationships in general can be difficult. That's no matter what the relationship is, whether it's sister, brother, cousin, auntie, whatever it is, they can be difficult. But I do feel that people make romantic relationships much harder than they have to be. And I think people are jaded. But I feel like a lot of people just need to look in the mirror. They really need to look in the mirror, because one of the things that I always say, I definitely can't expect something from someone else that I can't exemplify. So of course, if I can't do it, then why would I think that there's someone else out there who can do it? Yeah. And that's generally how I feel about it. So it's like, if I know I can be a certain kind of person, or I can do certain kind of things, then that means that it's possible. So they're right. But if I keep failing or not exemplifying certain things, then of course I'm gonna be like, nobody can do this. This is unrealistic, right?
Right.
So,
so jaded. Yep. All right, y'all. I was gonna introduce another topic, but we're gonna save it for next week, y'all. We're gonna save it. And I want to get everybody's last words, famous last words. All right. So famous last words about anything that we talked about tonight. So let me see who likes to go first. Who likes to go first? Supreme Super Saiyan wife, we haven't gotten your words of wisdom today about what you need to do to be the perfect wife. So,
I love it.
What you can do is subscribe to my classes. Of course, they're only $1,800. That'll be nothing but pennies when you have your high value man after taking my courses. But I think everybody made some good points today. Just always keep in mind, do what works for your relationship. All these folks have all these rules about what you can and cannot do. As long as you two love each other, that's all that matters. Don't have your masculinity so fragile. Have a good night.
All right now. Thank you. All right. Who'd like to go next? All right, go ahead.
Yes, I'm gonna agree with Raven. People just need to do what works best for them in their relationships, and most importantly, work on yourselves. Stop spending so much time focusing on other people and what they're doing or what they're not doing or how they could be better and being frustrated, and focus on how you can be better and how you can kind of be the change that you want to see. And in that regard, you can attract what it is that you're looking for. Good night.
All right now. Thank you. All right. Darren, you want to go next?
All right. First, I want to start by saying, look at my baby with her little baby dreads. Look at that. All right. Got to get some acknowledgement. And then I want to acknowledge We on Lock Nation again, because that was really, I don't want to I want to make that real big, because that was real big of him, what he did, acknowledging his wrongs, having accountability. That's a lot of things that a man don't do. And as you can see, him and his wife is working things out, and I'm happy for him. But that's where it starts at. Leadership. Leadership is best shown and not talked about. So you lead by example, and that's a great start for a husband to start in a relationship with his wife. So lead by example, and you go get what you put out.
Awesome. Thank you. And Mrs. Jovo.
All righty. There is nothing wrong with having a scar. Okay. Scars become problems, though, when you do not allow them to properly heal. Leave the scab alone. Move on.
All right now. That's what you got?
That's what I got.
Right, move on. All right. Thank y'all so much. I love this show. I love y'all. Thanks to everybody who called in to the Ladies Room podcast. Make sure you all follow us on Facebook. We are called the Ladies Room Group Chat. All right, the Ladies Room Group Chat. Let's continue the conversation. We post a lot of good topics in there, and we want to hear what y'all have to say. So go ahead and follow us. All right, on Facebook. We are on Facebook. And until next time, peace out.
Hold on, Ashley. I just want to say we definitely missed you last week. And don't leave us again, okay? Don't leave us again. All right?
Y'all cut up last week.
Yes, we did.
I had to take these people's names down because they were acting up so.
That show was crazy.
I was on my best day.
Y'all hear our little sister Raven, the troublemaker. Y'all hear?
What you say, Darren, when you said what?
I was on my best behavior. That was.
That's Miss Jovo.
Yes, it was. Miss Jovo.
I'm gonna agree. It was definitely Miss Jovo. It was.
Y'all, right. All right, y'all. Peace out. Peace out, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.